Same.
Hey, we are here with Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network. What's up, everybody? It is the crew, Rick Kamla, Canadian basketball legend, Dwight Walton, A.M. Pfeffer. We have the patriarch, the creator, the founder, the sports medicine radiologist, extreme, Dr. X, Dr. Phil McDonald. We have an extravaganza for you. It's All-Star Weekend. We're here on Thursday. Everybody's flying in, and interviews are happening. And we got the young fellas playing tomorrow night, All-Star Saturday night, and then the games. And we'll see how that Sunday night thing goes. But we got a ton of stuff to talk about. We have Cal Bowdler joining the show. He's in town. He's with the Players Association, and he's flying in. He's making his way here right now. He'll be here soon, and we'll bring him on the air. We start the show, Doc, going into the XSN clinic. Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to have surgery, and he go bye-bye for the whole season, okay, to remove a growth in his left knee, and he's expected to be cleared well in advance of training camp. No bleep, okay? It's a growth, Doc, a pigmented villonodular synovitis, PVNS, it says here. I know none of this stuff. You do, though. Was discovered in an MRI. This is very important. During a physical after he was traded to the Jazz from the Grizzlies on February 3rd. He'll have the procedure during the All-Star break. Jackson said he's not feeling any pain, but doctors deemed it necessary to remove the growth soon because it would otherwise spread. And what that's code for we're winning too much, okay? And so with 3 games with Jackson, he went 22 points per game in 24 minutes. They had him on a minutes restriction. He was sitting out fourth quarters. Sources said he was on a minutes limit with the Jazz due to medical reasons. And Doc, I'm not leading the witness here. I'm just kind of setting this up. This feels really tanky to me because if the growth was discovered right around the time of the trade, why was he allowed to play in 3 games? He's not experiencing any pain. He's been killing in these 3 games. And Doc, here's something very, very important contextually. The Jazz have won their last 2 games, and we know they don't want to win, okay? And they had a 17-point lead against Orlando late third, pulled all their starters, lost that game. But if they played it straight, they would have 3 straight wins, and 2 of the 3 would be blowouts, okay? And now we get this news that JJJ is going to have surgery and he's shut down. Does this feel tanky to you?
It does, but at least they did a good job of disguising it. And so I'm okay with that because what he had to have done, it was an elective surgery. And it's probably like an arthroscopic surgery, something that you've had. It's more of a cleanup job, right? So what hyperpigmented villonodular synovitis is, it's like a bunch of cysts that show up in MRI on a sequence called the GRE. It'll light up, it'll blooming artifact. And it's usually in big joints like the knee, the shoulder, and then it's all over the joint. It's like all these, just imagine a bunch of black marbles in your knee. And that's how it looks literally throughout the joint. Or like boba tea. Literally, that's how his knee looks. You know, like if you were to put, the bottom of the cup of the boba. Yeah. So that's literally what those things look like. And they probably feel like that too. That's the consistency. So imagine playing in that. He's going to have to get an elective surgery. So the timing obviously is to favor them starting off the year great. The timing, but he needed to have this done. So what, is he supposed to play through this? And then the other thing is almost equivalent of having a joint injection where you have a full joint. So he's running on this, and they probably just discovered it because you got to pass a physical. I'm not sure if they have to necessarily give everybody an MRI that has to pass the physical with the team, but they can require that just to make sure. So I feel ultimately it's splitting the difference. They knew that they needed to start the year strong. So why not just shut him down now, let him play a couple games, and then, just let him make sure he's there on time. But for him to play the rest of the season, I kind of disagree with that too. They have no chance of making the playoffs. He played a couple. He showed how he fits in the offense. He gave the fans something. That was a respect to the fans that he needed to give and the organization needed to give to the fans. But now they're just saying, okay, now it's our timing, and I'm okay with that. So.
Are you on a literal tip here, or are you smelling something fishy? Are you smelling something tanky?
No, there's obviously something fishy with this whole surgery thing happening now. Because to your point, he played 3 games. Did you not know of the injury before he got there? And as I asked you off air, where's the physical? What did the physical produce? Did it show that he had these little cysts in his knee? And my question to you, Doc, is does a cortisone shot solve this? If the playoffs started Sunday, could Jaren Jackson Jr. play with this? Would it be in discomfort? Would it hinder his productivity? That's the question here, because we all understand what's happening. Teams are positioning themselves because the 26th NBA draft has the potential of being one of the best drafts ever in the history of the NBA draft. So we know teams are positioning themselves. So anybody that follows a sport on a day-to-day basis understands what's happening. You know, you can't insult the fan, the medias. We know what's going on, right? So it is fishy. It is a part of the tanking process. The problem is the Jazz, no matter what they do, they continue to win. And how that looks to me, the Jazz are going to be very promising next season when they're healthy.
Of course.
But this is definitely part of the tanking process. You can't skirt this.
Yeah.
This is how we all see it. But you can disguise it, to your point, because it is a surgical procedure, which will keep them.
Were you asking me a question, by the way? Or was it like a
rhetorical? No, I was asking.
So pretty much it's a great excuse.
Yeah.
It was a great excuse. Like when they discovered it, it was probably like a gift for them to see it. Because yes, he could probably play. Like if it was the playoffs, he could definitely play with it. You know what I'm saying? But you're putting yourself at risk because you're playing with a full joint. So now he's at risk for a meniscal tear, an ACL tear, a PCL tear, an MCL sprain, LCL sprain. Whatever it is, he's at risk for all of those now because his joint is now filled, not with just joint fluid, but all these little boba time, tea. We should get sponsored by them, by the way. But,
boba, Colorado.
I love this boba, that's delicious.
Yeah, so like that's so it's a great excuse. So now they had the choice. Hey, let them play a little. It's not necessarily kill them. Hope nothing happens. And now they can choose when to do it, shut them down. And it's an elective surgery. It's not emergent. And there you go. It's perfect.
A.M. Pfeffer, is it tanky behavior?
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely tanky behavior. But it brings up other things for me. Like my mind spins with this. Triple J, not to be confused with the great boxer Triple G. Like, my man looks so good those first 3 games, right? So where does my mind go? Danny Ainge, yet again, you're a genius. What does this do to Keontae George's most improved player odds? Does this make it better or worse?
If Jalen Johnson's not the most improved player, I no longer understand this
Couldn't
league.
agree more with you, and I hope we have this
The
conversation
guy's a triple-double every night.
By the way, he's not the odds-on favorite. Denny Avdija still is. Like, he's minus on there, and we should talk about that.
Denny's having a great year. I'm not mad at him.
He is, but you know what? Let's sidetrack for a second. Let's go in that direction. Denny was great the last 6 weeks of last year, right? His last 6 you can compare him to anybody else. So you've got to improve from that. He didn't. He's on par with what he did last year. You're not the most improved player. Jalen Johnson, he's not even close to his first few years. He's on the cusp of superstar.
Yeah. Exactly.
Keontae was putrid last year.
He was putrid.
He should make this jump where he's consistent and he looks like he could be an all-star if they had a better record.
But so now what happens to his odds?
But he's right. Like, what if he misses the last 25 games?
Yeah,
right?
I don't think he will.
Okay.
I don't think he will.
The tank of it all, and to bring this back, all of this, and I know we're probably going to open up, maybe we should discuss it a little bit now, like, because we had such a great conversation about it the other day, and we can expound on that now. This isn't on the teams, guys. The more I think about it, it's like this is still on the league. The teams are doing what they're supposed to be doing. Dwight, you're right. This draft could be so transformational in the history of the league, and the teams are doing what they're supposed to be doing, positioning themselves to get in the mix. If you got a chance to get one of those top 5 guys, put yourself in that position. That's what the league allows for now. So the teams are doing nothing wrong. Until the league changes it, it's not on the teams.
Yeah. Understood. 3 tanky behaviors, and we have the only doctor on the set is to a degree co-signing what the Jazz are doing. Let's move on here, guys. We had a brawl in the NBA the other night. I mean, we were buzzing about it and group chatting about it and the whole thing. Did the NBA nail the suspensions from the Charlotte Hornets, Detroit Pistons fight? And Dwight, you're going first. I just want Yardy to know that. You're going first on this one. All right, Isaiah Stewart gets 7 games. Miles Bridges gets 4 games. Moussa Diabate gets 4 games. Jalen Duren gets 2 games, pardon me. So let's go around the table here. Did the NBA nail these suspensions?
In terms of Jalen Duren, Musa Diabate, and Miles Bridges, yes, I believe they got it right. In regards to Isaiah Stewart,
here we go.
I have a major problem with what the NBA did. And David Stern, may he rest in peace, God rest his soul. Had he been the commissioner of the NBA today, there is no way he allows a player with ice packs on his knee, basically not coming back into the game at that point. He sees who's on the floor and just rushes the court. Yes, we can say that Musa Diabate escalated the situation between he and Duren by fouling him hard and then putting his head into his face. Duren protects himself, gives him the face wash, pushes him away. Miles Bridges comes in. But then, as the melee is going on, Isaiah Stewart, who already has a history of doing this stuff, already has a history 4 suspensions totaling 8 games. Should have been more in those cases as well, as far as I'm concerned. You have a more than one-time repeat offender, rushes the court. The rule is you cannot come onto the court from your bench and escalate a situation. To give him only 7 games is basically telling the rest of the NBA, you know what? If I'm only going to lose 7 games and I see one of my partners in trouble, I'm gonna risk it. 7 games is not enough. I was saying he should have been done the rest of the season. Is that too much for me? I mean, in people's opinions, maybe it is. But to not get double-figure games, to me, is a slap on the wrist for Isaiah Stewart. He's a major part of what Detroit wants to do this season. I don't think he nor the Detroit Pistons were punished enough in this regard. He came in swinging. I don't care if he didn't land any punches. To only give this player 7 games as a repeat offender, you're telling the rest of the NBA it's open season, go ahead and fight. I think it's ridiculous. He should have got at least double figures. For me, I would have suspended him the rest of the season.
Whoa. Okay, so I could not disagree more, and here's why. Draymond Green got 5 games for choking out Rudy Gobert. 5. And Draymond Green had a long track record before that. Adam could have clobbered Draymond Green for that.
They were on the court, Rick.
He gave him 5, but he choked him out. I mean, it's one of the most grotesque scenes we've ever seen in an NBA court. I just bring that up as a precedent here. I actually, and Dwight, you know I love you and respect you. I just completely disagree.
That's fine.
I think Adam suspended Isaiah Stewart for too many games. Okay? If you're going to give Draymond Green 5 games for choking out Rudy Gobert, how are you going 7 for Isaiah Stewart when he doesn't even land a punch? That doesn't make any sense. It's inconsistent with the way they've ruled in the past. Isaiah Stewart was suspended 4 previous times. March 2025, January 2025, February 2024, and we all remember November 2021, the thing with LeBron James where he freaked out, was running at him because LeBron bloodied his face with a cheap shot, okay? Those were a total of 8 games for the 4 infractions. And so now the 5th infraction, he gets 7 games. I think Adam is reacting to like the public swell, great people like Dwight Walton who are saying, and Dwight's not the only one saying that they needed to hammer Isaiah Stewart. And I think Adam's listening to that, but I think it sent Adam like out of whack on it. I would, to me, if Draymond got 5 for choking out Gobert and Stewart had never been suspended more than 3 games, to me, the number's 4 for Isaiah Stewart. So that's my number. Dwight says rest of the season. A.M. Pfeffer, how about you, man?
It was right on the money for me with 7 games. But yeah, Dwight, sorry, I don't agree with you either for the rest of the season. You know, it's still something that didn't escalate into a full-blown fight. Nobody got hurt. We see it in other sports all the time, right? We can't expect these guys not to react or not to get off the bench and get involved. You see in baseball, I mean, it's an absolute melee and benches cleared. It's amazing. You see in hockey, like these guys go at it and consistently go through a fight as long as it's just the 2 of them going through it. It's going to happen. Fights are going to happen in basketball, right? And it's like, unless it's malice at the palace and the fans are involved, come on. Some suspensions need to get handed down. 7 games is enough to put a dent in the paycheck. You're right, Dwight. about one thing. There are other players around the league who might otherwise look at this and say, it's only 7 games. I might get involved, but I don't think that's a terrible thing. And I'm sure we're going to talk about that too.
Yes,
Doc.
we will. Doc.
I feel like it was okay. I see what you're saying, but for you just to say blanket end of the season, how many games is that?
25.
25. Okay.
Yeah.
So what was the previous rule when David Stern was the commissioner?
Well,
Like when it just leaving the bench, because I get the whole thing. He wasn't on the court. He threw punches, and Rick, he actually did land. There was a body blows because he missed one.
Oh, right.
Bridges grabbed him, and then he's getting these body blows in.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
And then so he landed several punches, not above the neck.
Loved it.
But the point is, there's a lot of things going on, but there's no fans involved. So we know, all right, the most extreme cases, we have the Malice in the Palace, right? That's fans, right? And that's like, spend it for a whole season, things like that. So what's the example that you have where David Stern said once you leave, Patrick Ewing, when he left the bench, how many games did he get suspended?
They gave
one.
Well, they gave him one,
okay.
but it was the playoffs. That's damaging. That is damaging.
Okay, so is there any example of just leaving the bench?
What was the fight?
during the regular
what was
season?
the Carmelo fight? You remember the
I
Carmelo
do.
non-fight?
No, I mean, if you leave the bench, it's an automatic at least 1 game suspension. Like if you have no previous track record and you're kind of like a good guy and I just lost my head and went on the court, they'll give you a game.
Yeah.
But like I told you guys, Stu Jackson told me they changed the language after the Robert Horry hip check on Nash with the Diaw and Amari suspensions to say the vicinity of the bench to give the league wiggle room. If so they're like, gosh, the guy had a toe on the court and then was restrained himself.
Yeah.
That's not suspendable. Like that defies common sense to me. You know what I'm saying? If you take 3 steps on the court and then back up, you're getting a game. But if it's like your pinky toe and you're like, I can't do it. The league shouldn't suspend a guy for that.
So Rick, if I could expound on
that.
Yeah. LaMelo Ball is extremely lucky because the verbiage in the rule was changed. If you watch the whole sequence, LaMelo Ball wants to get on the court. His assistant coach stops him. Then the melee gets even worse than it originally was. The assistant coach that was holding off LaMelo Ball leaves Ball alone, goes to the scrum because it just got too big. LaMelo Ball finds his way to the scrum, but he doesn't fight.
Right.
But he tried to leave the bench not once, got on the court the second time, but because he wasn't involved in the skirmish, which he obviously wanted to get involved because he wanted to get on the court from the get-go. But because the verbiage was changed, LaMelo Ball skirted suspension. To me, Ball should have been suspended too, just because of the intent. But the verbiage changed, so we got away with it. But Ball should have got a game. I would have gave him 1 game because it's obvious he wanted to join what was happening. Again, you cannot condone fighting. Listen, I was a physical player. I was raised in the era where fighting, guys were punching guys in the face. We saw Robert Parrish wail on Bill Laimbeer in the playoffs. It was like a regular foul. The game went on. We're living in different times, man. And Isaiah Stewart, to me, it feels like he leaves his home trying to do something. And because he has the reputation, he needs to be taught a lesson. Leaving the bench and coming on just wailing, I don't care if he hits somebody. You got to punish him, and you got to punish the Pistons. That would have put a dent, somewhat of a dent, into that team. They're the second best team in the NBA right now. They're just, I think, a game or 2 behind the Thunder. It's a remarkable story in and of itself, but you cannot allow this behavior because I think it's now open season. Players are going to say, you know what? Silver only gave Stewart, a repeat offender, 7 games to leave the bench. So you know what? If I see a fight in the court, I'm going. If it's only 2 games, I'll pay the fine. It's 2 games. But I feel better about myself. It's an ego thing. I'm trying to fight somebody. We have to squash fighting in the NBA. And this was a terrible message as far as I'm concerned.
Wow.
Terrible.
Well, I'll say this. The guide, I felt it served as a great guideline because you had like different categories of people here. And I think for the playoffs, you know it's going to get even more physical. So you have a perfect guideline like, okay, you can miss a whole series. Like if you do something like Isaiah Stewart did, if you throw a punch and land them, you can miss 4 games. 4 games is significant and can twist a whole series as well. And then you have something less than where, was it German got two
Yep,
games? Two. Yeah, so, he was defending himself. He's dodging punches and, but he mushed him in the face. So that's 2 games. So now that's a perfect guideline. So I think the league did good in using this as an example going forward. They know the leagues will be a little more physical. And now they have some sort of framework. You've been warned. Take heed. So when keeping it real goes wrong, like if you want to do that and cost your whole team the series, you know exactly what you're in for.
So let's downshift into where Dwight just went. Is fighting good for the NBA? And we will circle back to ding ding beef stew against Miles Bridges in the ring. I'll get us started here. Fighting is good for the NBA, folks. Dwight, look at this look. Look at this look. I mean, look at this. I love this. Did anybody get hurt? No. Did it spill over to the crowd? No. Was the Detroit-Charlotte fight one of the top viral moments of the NBA season? Yes. Do eyeballs and clicks and likes matter for the NBA in the big picture? Yes. Are NBA fights entertaining? Yes. I don't need a fight in every game. But when it happens, I am so here for it. Fights are throwback. We all kind of want more throwback, less new school, more old school. And lastly, fights are proof that not every player in the NBA is soft, okay? Everybody talks about how soft the league is, and so some fisticuffs, who knows what that's doing to affect the greater good out there, but I like it, okay? So I say fighting is good for the NBA. You just made the comment, so flesh it out a little bit. Go, dive into your point.
Okay. Was I entertained? 100%. I've been trying to talk about
the truth comes out right there.
Talk about the Charlotte Hornets for the past month. They were on a 9.
That's it. He's just pissed that Detroit was messing with his little team that could. That's what's going on. Come on.
But the Charlotte Hornets obviously went into that game, fellas, with the intent on showing not only the NBA fan, but the Detroit Pistons specifically, that we are here.
Yep.
We're not just trying to get into the play-in tournament. We're trying to make the playoffs. And based on y'all's record, we might be your first-round opponent.
Good call, Dwight.
If we get through the play-in. Now, I think that's what happened. Emotions got high. Come to find out that Musa Diabate and Jalen Duren have past history going back to AAU and high school. So that was a big part of what we saw. But again, I was entertained. Please, I am by far not a soft individual.
No, he's not.
I was a physical guy. My body.
Come home, Dwight Walton. You'll see what he means.
Living proof that I am not a soft athlete. However, yes, social media, the fans, everything is basically run by y'all. We want to entertain you guys. I get it. But you cannot condone fighting. Fighting is good every once in a while. But to me, these punishments, as I said earlier, seem to be encouraging that behavior, because to me it was a slap on the wrist to specifically Isaiah Stewart. And if anybody wants to come at me, that's fine. A fight every now and then, showing emotion, competitive spirit, that is the best thing ever for the NBA. No question about it. I just don't like fighting. I don't think we need fighting to show competitive spirit. I think it should be outlawed. That's just how I feel. It is what it is. If I'm soft, I'm soft. I know I'm not soft. I know these guys know I'm not soft.
I wouldn't mess with
him. The guys I played against know I'm not soft. But if this is a soft mentality, so be it. I'll take the hit.
It's not a soft mentality, but I'm not sure we totally agree with you, Dwight. A.M. Pepper, is fighting good for the NBA?
It's definitely good for the NBA. Can I get a preemptive from Dwight? This is my favorite. Can I get one?
Yes, go ahead.
No, go please. A preemptive before I even begin. Can I get a? I love it. Thank you very much.
Sheesh.
Guys, yes, it's good for the NBA, but I want to go even further here. I think that there's something larger at play, and I want to give Adam Silver a lot of credit. Okay, I think he's doing the right thing, and he's handling the league the correct way that David Stern never did. To me, David Stern stepped over so many boundaries.
I agree.
He had draconian rules.
I agree.
Okay, he was against the Allen Iverson generation. in the wrong possible ways.
That's true.
He
Totally agree.
He gave up like nonsense reasoning that just like hurt my brain and my emotions for people and players, and the idea of like, oh, well, fighting's bad because it actually goes beyond the game and outside the arena, and we're scared of what these guys will do to each other, and the people who are with them will do to each other after the games and all of that. And he perpetuated all of that. And that to me is gross. And I never liked David Stern for that, and I want it on record. And Silver has brought that back, and he understands human is human, and fighting is going to happen. And in that respect, fighting is good for the NBA. It happens in other leagues. And I'm not, again, with like you're saying, Rick, it's not like I want to see a fight every game. I never want to see it spill into the stands. I never want to see these guys hurt each other for real and all of that. But, like, you're suspending guys the amount that you're supposed to be suspending them, you know? And you're always going to have an Isaiah Stewart. I don't care if you're sending a message or not. There's always going to be an Isaiah Stewart. There's always going to be a Patrick Beverley. There's always going to be a Dylan Brooks. There's always going to be a Draymond Green. There's always going to be a Rasheed Wallace. We could sit here all day and start naming names. Mm-hmm. It's not. Is it good for the NBA? All right, we're having a conversation. Is it bad for the NBA? No. And the way Adam Silver is now handling it is good for the NBA.
Yeah. Before we move on any further, let's get guys, Kai and Jason and Sean. Let's get a tight shot on Doc's suit right here. We gotta. I should have done this at the top of the show. My bad. Is the traffic cop here? Look at this suit right here, man. We are all admiring the out of that suit, Doc.
Get me out of the shot. I feel bad that I'm even in the shot because I don't. I mean, you look too good.
I'm chilling.
Dude, so after this, like we're on a bit of a time crunch. See, look at this right here. We're on a bit of a time crunch because after the show, Doc's got to shoot with GQ. So we got to kind of hurry up here and get the show going here, man. Doc, you the man.
I love it.
Smooth as always. Is fighting good for the NBA?
I would say that it's definitely good for the NBA because you want there to be some anticipation that something can go wrong. I think in the past decade or so, you haven't really seen fighting, and you just felt like these players were soft and they would always like be up to each other, but you knew no one was ever going to fight or throw a punch, unlike what we grew up watching in the 90s. And
they were ready to throw blows, man.
Exactly. So you knew it could pop off at any time. So any like tough behavior, you knew that you could potentially get punched or something, right? So, but it's kind of, you kind of felt like that's gone away now. And so now in the past, I would say since Isaiah Stewart, once we saw him going after LeBron, he was like, oh, I guess nobody's off limits. You know what I mean? With this guy. And then we also seen Draymond, even though he has like a hit list where he has categories of people that he tries to go after, and your guy Dylan Brooks, he goes after anybody as well, which is good to see that, people aren't just, ultimately it's good for the NBA, but I'm glad that the league has rules. Do I wish that these guys would just keep it to basketball? Sometimes, yes. But to answer your question, it's good for the NBA. My thing is, if these guys really want to fight, because sometimes there's always like one guy that doesn't really want to fight, but doesn't want to look like a punk in front of his friends.
Exactly.
Then they should just take it down for later. Like, how Ernie will like take a note on what your prediction was. Take a rain check, and in the summer, have a real official fight. You can put the headgear on, you can put the gloves on. If you really want to get it out, then go ahead and do it. So if you really want to fight, do it the right way where no one gets hurt, and then you can just get it out the way,
So,
because hockey does it, but people actually can get hurt. You know what I mean? Like really badly.
You see, but this is the issue now. To extend on that, Dennis Schroeder got suspended 3 games for fighting Dončić or wanting to after the game in the tunnel by the team bus. Okay, so again, what the issue I have with this, and you guys, all 3 of y'all said it, nobody got hurt, so it's okay. So somebody has to get hurt for it to be not okay? Like I don't.
It's no harm, no foul. You can't punish somebody for, in this case, if no one got hurt.
So until somebody gets seriously hurt,
well, they got punished. They got punished, but ultimately the punishment would have been worse if someone got hurt.
But how often are people getting hurt in the other leagues when they're actually going through with the fights?
That's a fair question. Okay, you know what? If you want me to scale it back a bit, I'll say this. If you want to have a skirmish on the court, no problem. A face mash, a grab, a shove, whatever. But if somebody intently, on purpose, comes storming off the bench, that's allowed?
No, it's not allowed.
Okay, so
that's why.
so
but there's a penalty.
enough?
Now that's the new rule. Yeah, it is. It's enough.
Sorry, folks, it's not enough for me. Anyways.
I gotta. So you talked about like
without pay, you know.
Yeah, you talked about like we're heated, but like let's table the fight for later. I did that once and it did not go well. It did not go well at all. His name was Gus. Gus was bigger than me. Gus was bullying me. I was 13 or 14, junior high school, and I was over it. So I stood up to the bully. It was at lunch, and so like we were ready to throw blows and stuff. I mean, I was going to get my ass kicked, but I ain't going out like a punk, right? I mean,
I like that. Rick.
I
like
yeah,
that.
and so
I respect that.
And so all these kids are gathering around and we're squaring up, and of course the teachers come in and bust it up. And he's like, meet me wherever it was after school. And I'm like, bleep you, I'll meet you out there. And I'm saying, oh, this is so brutal. So the whole day I'm like nervous. I'm gonna get my ass kicked, and then the anger diffuses and morphs into fear. And so I went into the fight with fear, not anger. Okay. And it was a one-punch fight. Jeez. We squared up. He went body blow like Isaiah Stewart. Dude, took my wind away, got up on me, and he's like, do you want any more? I go, no. But the thing is, and then that was it for the fight. But the thing is, Gus did not mess with me anymore. Okay? See? He got his lick in, and Gus didn't mess with me anymore. Kids out there, stand up to the bully. This is going to sound violent. Take a punch to the face if you have to. It will help you with the bully. You might get a lick in. You will definitely earn respect around your school just for challenging the bully. Okay. All right. Now, speaking of fighting, Isaiah Stewart or Miles Turner in the ring? Ding, ding.
Isaiah Stewart or who?
Miles Bridges.
If you're talking about boxing, I have to go Isaiah Stewart. Number one, he's Jamaican. But
let's go.
There's another level they tend to go to. But I'd also say he's also a trained boxer from what I hear. But the other thing, I think Miles Bridges, if this is like UFC, I might have to go with Miles Bridges because Miles Bridges looks like he's more of a grappler. And so he clearly missed and he ducked very low and knew exactly what to do. He was about to get him and slam him, but Tobias Harris and some other teammates and refs or whatever people kind of stabilized him, Isaiah Stewart's back from getting slammed. Because I think that's what was about to happen.
Yeah.
And then once you're on the ground, I don't care how much boxing training you have, you're allowed to use everything. At that point, you're at risk.
So Bridges is your call, or Stewart's your call?
It has conditions. If this is an officiated boxing match with a ref and headgear and gloves, I'm going Isaiah Stewart.
But if it's just a bar brawl,
like UFC, I'm going with Bridges.
I love the breakdown. Who wins that fight?
Let's just say this because I love these matchups that we.
Is this just farcical that we're even? I kind of like it.
But at this point, first of all, the guy's name is, we call him Beef Stew. It's Beef Stew. And I just want this, I'm getting to the point of saying, if you're adding Isaiah Stewart in any of these scenarios, he's now default winner. I don't care who you're matching up with in the NBA. Nene Hilario, I just wanted to bring his name back because the fact that we even mentioned it at one time. If it was him, anyone in the history of the NBA, and now moving forward, I'm an Isaiah Stewart guy. I'm going with Beef Stew against literally anyone. There's my answer.
Okay.
Again, to my cousin's point, he has a fellow Jamaican. It's difficult for me to go against him. I'm going to break it down the same way my cousin did. If you're just talking about a boxing match, he's a trained boxer and he has the mentality for it. I'm going with Isaiah Stewart. But I saw the rage on Miles Bridges' face when he tried to confront Isaiah Stewart on the court in that melee. I was afraid for Isaiah Stewart. I was afraid. If I see Bridges coming at me, I would think twice. And there are levels to this. Slightly, reluctantly, I'm going to go with Bridges. I know Isaiah Stewart, Beef Stew is his nickname. I know he's as tough as it gets. But Miles Bridges, I seen that rage. His that scared me. I'm slightly going to go with Miles Bridges.
Understood.
Slightly.
I'm going to go with Beef Stewart. I'm not going to give you the Ferdy Pacheco breakdown that Doc and Dwight are going into here. I'm going Beef Stew. Look, I give Bridges a shot in this fight. He would get punches in. It would go multiple rounds, all that kind of stuff. But to me, it's about wingspan. Beef Stew is 6'8", 7-foot wingspan. Bridges is 6'7", 6'8" wingspan. That's a huge difference. It's a 4-inch difference in arm length. And, I think he would already have an advantage with girth and the boxing stuff. So I think the wingspan would put him over the top. I think both of these guys would dominate Draymond Green. Yes.
This is real beyond the surface stuff right there. You just went wingspan those two guys in a fake fight. I love it.
He had to. He's got to catch a stray once a show. And so there it is. I think I met my quota already here.
I can't wait for the Steve Kerr jab at some point.
So I want Doc to go. Yeah, hopefully it comes up at some point. So we got to talk about the Duncan Robinson thing. Not engaging. A lot of people have said their opinion on it and not a fan of it and all that kind of stuff. So we can be kind of brief on this, or as long as you guys want. But was that a Manlaw violation by Duncan Robinson?
Absolutely.
Not to engage.
Absolutely. I mean, I always like to keep the peace. That's my mindset. But part of sometimes keeping the peace is putting yourself out there in protection of others. And I just feel like, him turning his back, like, first off, it's team code. Like you can't not be a part of it, because then they don't trust you. You're in the bench. Like, so they start, you can literally take
advantage Knicks.
Well, you could.
Do we have a divided locker room now? Is this like ... good news for NYK?
Technically, but not yet.
Which is the sun around which you orbit?
But they will file this away when it comes down to other decision making, because with basketball as with life, you could see someone's character with how they play the game as well. So bare minimum, if you're not going to fight, and I don't, it's his choice, he should at least been a part of holding back a teammate from getting suspended, or from the bench if it's not even the player that's fighting and maybe doesn't want to get injured and get hit by a punch. I get that. At least look like you're trying to prevent your other teammates from getting suspended. That's bare minimum. That's kind of what Lou said also.
Yeah.
And I kind of agree with his take as well.
Manlaw violation?
It was in every type of violation. Absolutely. It was wrong, dude. You're part of a team. You're a grown man who's part of a team, and benchers are clearing. Get involved in some capacity. Doc's right. In any way, turning your back and not being involved, I didn't love it at all. And I get it. Like, he was part of a different culture, the Heat culture, and comes up, and maybe he's on the team that he didn't necessarily want to be on, but he acting the way that he did and not backing up his teammates, major violation.
Yeah. He's playing more for Detroit than he did with Miami, despite all that money. They paid him, it was like 5 years, $90 million, and then hated him all of a sudden and never played him. Didn't make any sense at all. Manlaw violation.
Manlaw violation, absolutely. But I want to address what you just said about it fraying with his teammates. Trust me, if Cade Cunningham or Dennis Jenkins gets 2 feet in the lane and they see Duncan Robinson open, they're going to gladly pass him the ball. So it's not going to fade the locker room. The man code, the man violation, protecting your teammates, no question about it. That should have happened. I don't condone fighting, but at the very least, pretend to be a part of it, pretend to try and stop some people from getting more into the fracas. Him just turning his back in disgust and walking away.
Yeah, the disgust part.
No, because he looked like he's like,
come on, guys.
Dude, that's exactly what it was. Why are we doing this, guys? It's if you read the picture, it didn't look cool on his behalf. So definite man violation. But in terms of it, the respect from his teammates, if he's open and he needs to knock down the 3, they're going to gladly pass him the ball. So that's my explanation for that.
I want to answer my question with a question for you guys. Does Draymond Green pick on tough guys, or does Draymond Green pick on easy prey?
Easy prey all day.
Okay.
It's easy prey.
And that's a sign of a bully, 100%. Okay.
So Duncan Robinson, the next time you play the Golden State Warriors, buckle up, bro. It's coming, okay? Because Draymond bullied Colin Gillespie. I'll never forgive you for that, Draymond, and I'll never stop bringing it up. One of the most pathetic things I've ever seen. Colin Gillespie, For the love of basketball. So Duncan Robinson, you went out like a punk. That's the definition of going out like a punk. So we're out at a bar, the 3 dudes over there, 4 dudes over here, and stuff starts going haywire, and it's us 4, okay? And you guys, and then I just dip outside, and they got it. You guys are going to be out of your mind, furious with me, and rightly so, okay? So you can't go out like a punk. And at that point, if you're Duncan Robinson, it's acting. He obviously doesn't want to fight, and you know what? That's cool. But you can't walk away and discuss like, I'm above this. Like I'm the adult in the room, and they're all children, and that was the vibe. It was like, dude. So that was like, it made it even worse, right? Yeah. But dude, just go and just, kind of like a gentle mosh pit thing, that's all you got to do. Just, lift your feet so you don't get rolled up on and stuff. Like make sure, you're kind of tap dancing a little bit, but serious Manlaw violation. Yeah. I love what you said about it won't fray the locker room. But I'm telling you, Duncan, Draymond's coming for you, man. I freaking promise. I don't know, Jason, maybe you could I don't know if Detroit and Golden State play again the rest of the year, but Duncan, buckle up, bro. He's coming for you, man. What was that movie with Ice Cube and Charlie Day at the school? Remember where? Oh,
yes.
Something Day, Fight Day or something? Remember it built up to them having the fight? So I'm just saying, Duncan, Draymond's coming for, he's coming for a piece of you because you're a punk and he only punks punks. Okay. Colin, you're not a punk. I take that back. He only punks people he can punk. Okay. There, we got it right. Let's move on to All-Star Weekend, guys. Should Luka Dončić give up his All-Star spot? That is the question at foot here. Luka Dončić is out against the Mavs, but he still hopes to play in the All-Star game. I'm going to go first here. This is a big yes. Luka, give up your spot. Your spot might go to the Euro. It could, okay? I'm just saying, maybe that's incentive for him. I'm trying to help you out, Luka, okay? Let me tell you about the word hope. The word hope in sports means nothing. Nothing at all. The only way that hope is relevant at all in the world of sports is probably like March 30th. Your baseball team hasn't played a game yet. You know they're going to go 50 and 110, but you have a little bit of hope. Okay, that's it. Okay, like if you're a Timberwolves fan, you hope one day we'll win the championship. What the hell does that mean? Nothing. Okay, when in a report they say Rick Carlisle says, I hope that Obi Toppin can play Obi Toppin ain't playing in the next game. Okay, hope means I don't know. Okay, it's a shoulder shrug. So Luka knows he ain't playing in this game. Luka is the worst All-Star game player in the history of the world because he cares less about the All-Star game than any previous player in the history of sports. Guys, his shooting splits in NBA All-Star games are 42% shooting, 29% from 3. That's apathy, okay? He has 35 points in 5 All-Star games, 7 a game. He scored 70 in a game, okay? He averages 35 every day. 7 points, dude. Come on. So will the U.S. versus world format inspire Luka? I would bet everything I own, soul, heart, man parts, car, you can have it all. There's no way. He's not into that, okay? It's not going to inspire him. And I got to read you this quote. Kevin Durant, I believe this was last night, threw Luka and Jokic under the bus, and I freaking loved it because I don't think a player has ever said anything more true and honest and badass than Kevin Durant did. And I've been saying it. So Kevin's not poaching me. I'm just saying I have been saying this for years about Jokic and Luka. They hate the All-Star game. Don't even invite them to the event. They don't want to be there, okay? So this is what Durant said, quote, and they were asking him about motivation level. Kevin's on the old head team, with Bron and Curry and all these guys. So that was kind of the premise of the question. He said, you should ask the Europeans and the world team if they're going to compete. He said, if you look at Luka Dončić and Nikola Jokic now, let's go back and look at what they do in the All-Star game. Kevin, you are the dopest. You are the dopest, dude. He said, is it a competition? So we haven't questioned what they've been doing. I have, Kevin, but I get your point. But we're going to question the old heads and the Americans. Uh-oh. Kevin Durant goes on. But these dudes out there, Luka and Jokic, I mean, he named their name twice, dude. It's so gangster. I freaking love it. He said, Luka and Jokic, they don't care about the game at all. Facts. He said, these dudes be laying on the floor. They're shooting from half court, but you got to worry about the old heads playing hard. I can read between the lines, bro. It's just an overall topic that everybody's been talking about. Yes, Luka, give up your spot. We're still complaining about LeBron not giving up his spot last year and stealing an all-star from either Domantas Sabonis or Norman Powell. Don't steal an all-star from somebody who's deserving, Luka, when you hate the game. Should Luka give up his all-star spot?
Well, it's Luka. I think it would look, first off, I think he has ability to play in the game. And I think he will play in the game. So I wouldn't want to see Luka not playing. And I think for the NBA, for a player of Luka's caliber, they would rather do exactly what LeBron did last year. It's better for the sport in terms of people potentially tuning in and versus tuning out. Because if I hear Luka's not playing, I already heard Curry's not playing. If
Giannis is not playing. SGA is not playing.
But, the replacements are good. But it's like you start hearing, like, does it even be a challenge?
Wow.
And so I would say it's worth just him keeping that spot and not giving it away prematurely.
Even if he doesn't play, even if he ultimately doesn't play.
Yes, only because if you could tell me who would replace him, because they've already, elevated guys that we felt should have been in the All-Star game. So is there someone else that we're like, oh, this guy needs to be in
Brooks.
Yeah, and he would be in an international game. Yeah. For Dylan Brooks, I like it because at least it'd be spicy.
Bullseye.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Doc.
Okay, so what would actually be the starting lineup with Dylan Brooks?
I can't go that deep.
Yeah, so, I mean, it definitely
I can't go that deep on this.
It would definitely be Victor. It'd definitely be Jokic, Dylan Brooks, and
Denny Avdia.
Because you already lost SGA and Denny Avdia. I like it. Like, if he knows right now that he can't play, yes, tell him. Because then I would say that's very disingenuous for him to know that he's not going to play and not give up his spot.
Siakam, Jamal Murray, Şengün, Cat was moved to the world team. So Wemby, Cat, Şengün, Siakam, Jamal Murray, Jokic. There's some question whether he'll play or not, but I don't know. He probably should. Luka's on the fence. Denny Avdia will play. SGA out. Giannis out. And so, yeah, that's it.
So while Kevin Durant was speaking the truth, again, as you've heard on my previous rants, I think I've ranted about this to the players twice over the last month. Kevin Durant, in a roundabout way, might have been motivating the world's team because he's obviously upset that the U.S. has taken strays for the All-Star game or lack thereof because of the lack of competition that they've showed over the last several years. So I get that. It's gangster, for no question about it, for him to call out those two players in particular. But I think this format was changed with the hope that the players will want to compete. So if Kevin Durant was sort of like backdooring a message here by calling out those guys and trying to take the blame and the onus off of them for the lack of competitive spirit over the last several All-Star games, so be it. But again, I just hope that although we heard Kevin Durant speak about that last night, the hope is that the players understand that Adam Silver has been grasping at straws over the last several years, trying to improve the pinnacle of All-Star Weekend, which is the game in of itself. We understand we have the celebrity game. We understand that we have the skills competition. We understand that we have the Rising Stars game. We understand that we have the three-point shooting contest, the dunk contest. It is what it is. None of the major stars want to participate in it, but it is a primary reason that we watch All-Star Weekend. But the game ultimately is what we want to see. And the mere fact that he has gone to this format of having USA versus the world, the hope is that the players are motivated enough by having their countries on their chest to at least show some form of competitive spirit. And if Kevin Durant was trying to poke the bear by saying that stuff, and do I think Luka Dončić should play this particular weekend? If he doesn't play tonight, I can see the Lakers holding him out for the weekend, but I want Luka Dončić to play. I want Nikola Jokic to play. I understand that SGA is not going to play. Giannis is not going to play. I get that because they're injured. They're legitimately injured. But the rest of the world team and the rest of the All-Stars just play hard. That's all I'm saying. Dončić, I want him to play in the game. I hope he plays in the game. Let's see what happens. Let's hope that this new format makes this game important enough for Dončić to want to play, although he is not 100% at this time.
See, we're down to hope. That's a real desperate spot to be. We're hoping. Okay. Should Luka give up his all-star spot?
Guys, I just realized I don't know something. I want to ask a question. If you give up your spot, you still effectively have the AS on your resume.
Correct.
Right, exactly.
That's correct.
Right? It's just that the new guy who slots in also has AS.
That is correct.
Right? That I knew that somewhere in the brain. I think I
that's why I'm so passionate about this.
Then
you already get the credit for it.
Then yes, he should absolutely give up his spot. I'm with you, Rick. If it wasn't the case, and you lose it from your resume and you make that decision, like no, and I think I knew that, but I had forgotten it. Yeah. Then no, you wouldn't have otherwise. But in this,
you got kids. You're a busy dude. We get it, man.
Sure.
You know, busy brain.
Yeah, there's a lot going on up there these days. But yeah, absolutely, you should give up his spot. He's on borderline. You don't know if he's going to play. You know, he's never engaged to begin with. He really is, to your point, Cam, probably the worst All-Star in the history of All-Stars when it comes to playing in the game. 7 points over 5 games is not good.
It's unbelievable.
History. It's almost unbelievable because there should have been
in a game with no defense.
Games, right, like one of those games you could have done something, shown up, and
he had his high is 8 points. Yeah, that's the best All-Star game.
He has no interest in being there. This is about the longevity of the Lakers. This, that, the other. Give up your spot. Let it go to somebody else. Absolutely.
I like it. All right. Dwight Walton, you first. Are you picking Damian Lillard in the three-point shootout? Let's do some predictions here. Dame obviously is recovering from the Achilles. Won't play at all this year, but kind of oddly, uniquely, he's in the three-point contest, and he's already won it twice. He's trying to join Bird and Hodges as the only 3-time winners. Tyler Hero got him last year, you remember, to disrupt Dame's bid for a three-peat. So this year it's Dame, Devin Booker, Con Knipple, Tyrese Maxey, Donovan Mitchell, Jamal Murray. Boy, can he get the flamethrower going, man. Or not, but I tell you what, when Jamal Murray's on a heater, bro, I love watching Jamal Murray. That thing just leaves his hand. You're like, oh, that thing's good. All right, Jamal Murray, Bobby Portis, and Norman Powell. Bobby Portis in the three-point contest.
He's shooting 50% for the year, man. He deserves to be there.
Okay.
He may not. Maybe he shouldn't be there, but he's shooting 50%, Rick. Come on now.
I stand corrected. Corrected. BP, I love you, man. You know, BP, are you gonna
don't mess with crazy eyes? Don't mess with crazy eyes.
Good point. I don't want. No, I'm good. I'm good with BP. Actually, maybe I used to be good with BP. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, so Booker and Knipple and Maxey and Mitchell and Murray and Portis and Lillard. Who you got? And Powell. Who you got?
Because I know what it is to go through a rehab process, a lot would happen when you start to get healthy as a basketball player. The one thing you do often is shoot the basketball. Damian Lillard, first of all, he can shoot for his whole career. But because he's at time, he's relaxed, he's rested, and I'm sure he's taken a gazillion shots a day during the rehab process. And because he has experience of winning this particular shooting contest at All-Star Weekend, I think he's the odds-on favorite to win it. My dark horse or my sleeper pick is arguably this year's NBA Rookie of the Year, Con Knipple. I know Cooper Flagg is going to get the Rookie of the Year because of the potential, the same way they gave LeBron James the Rookie of the Year over Carmelo Anthony, when I think Carmelo Anthony should have won it that year. But again, I think Damian Lillard will win it this season, this year, because I'm sure he's been taking 1 million shots per day. His body is rested. He's looking forward to being a part of All-Star Weekend. But my sleeper choice is the Charlotte Hornets' Todd Knippel.
Dr. X, are you picking Dame in the shootout as your cousin Dwight is?
I should, but I really want to see what Knippel's going to do. I'm very curious because he's had that edge.
You got those Charlotte pinstripes on right now, dude. You do. You're repping Charlotte right now.
Yeah, with the pinstripes. Yeah, I mean,
Very subtly, not so subtly.
Yeah, exactly. I like Knippel to potentially win this whole thing. Would it be nice to see Dame? He's won it before, right?
Twice.
So
Yeah.
kind of a, it gets boring after a while.
Not for him.
Now, who won it last year? Is he defending?
Tyler Hero.
Yeah, so I just feel like I wouldn't mind. There's the reason why I don't mind Dame being in it right now is because he's coming off an injury and it'd be nice to see him in the in the mix. But I would have preferred if he was just defending his championship than just to see someone that won it twice. I see him again. But yeah, if Khan's going to win it, he has to go against the best. And so with lack of Steph Curry being there, Clay is not in there. I like seeing. I think Khan will win it, but I'm glad Dame is in it.
Understood. Yeah. Am Pfeffer, are you picking Dame Dollar?
I'm picking Dame Dollar. Yeah, no, absolutely. With my money, I would put it on Dame all day, especially because of what Dwight said, that he's just sitting there in rehab shooting a gazillion shots, and I don't think gazillion's a big enough number. I want to say this. Dame Lillard is one of the best three-point shooters I've ever seen, and I love watching three-point shooters way more than I ever expected to when it became such a prevalent part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the three-point contest. In fact, if anything of All-Star Weekend, it's not even close for me. It's like beyond my favorite event.
Me too.
But it's right. It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's like
it's up
I'm not
there.
watching the dunk contest so much. I got half an eye on the game
It's
most of the time.
It's a skills contest
But
for me. That can go.
Right. So yeah, but like the three, it's so cool, and I'm so happy Dame's back. And yeah, I mean, I expect him to win because the fact that he's even in it, I expect him to win.
I have good news for you guys, and I want to thank Adam Silver. I want to give a heartfelt thanks to Adam Silver for killing the skills competition. He killed it. It's dead.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Don't bring it back. All right? Put it in a grave. Put it in a grave in Mongolia, okay? Like nobody's going there, and it's just gone, lost and forgotten. It was the stupidest, most confusing, most unentertaining exhibition ever, okay? Guys, I can't even, it made me mad to watch the skills competition. The players hated it. I mean, they hated it. You guys, how many times did you watch a player? When they start and they're doing the dribble slalom thing, right? They always screwed it up.
Yeah.
They'd go like the wrong way. They would completely miss one of the slaloms to go through. And, the NBA people on the court are like, all right, screw it. I mean, just do what you want to do. But they're not even doing it the way you're supposed to do it. Adam, thank you for sticking a fork in and murdering the skills competition. Thank you, Adam Silver. Adam, you're the best, man. You're the best. And Adam, I got your back against Dwight Walton too. Dwight wants a piece of you. I got your back. I'm going with Knippel. Dude, this cat, he's Klay Thompson 2.0. He has proven all year he's ready for all the smoke you want to throw at him. And this is a huge stage, tons of stars around. It could be like unnerving, right, for a rook. I don't think it's going to unnerve this guy. I just don't. I think this guy's got ice water in his veins. I mean, look, guys. Did I think Knippel would be even a fraction of what he is right now? No. He has completely blown my expectations out of the water. I'm so here for it. And he is a deadly three-point shooter. I mean, this guy's just a killer shooter. He's got one of the coolest, most effortless goosenecks I've ever seen in my life. So it's kind of the year of Khan, right? It's kind of the year of Charlotte. And so I'm going to ride that wave here. I am. I'm a huge Dame Lillard fan, man. It's tough for me to go against Dame. And I'm going to kind of take the other side from Am and Dwight here. I think the fact that he's not playing, and I get the in the gym all day shooting and stuff like that, but I mean, Dame rolls out of bed with the ability to make half-court shots that look very, very easy. So, like, how much better has he gotten as a shooter? Well, not. He was already – Dame Lillard is on my Mount Rushmore for clutch shooting in the history of the NBA. Like, the guy ended 2 playoff series on buzzer beaters. Said no one else ever, right? And all the other clutch shots he's hit. Reggie Miller's on that list for sure. And I'll just leave it right there. When I think of the best clutch shooters, how many times Reggie, like, it's from 30, it's from 28, guy in his face, leaning one way, legs not the right way, that weird spin release, and you're like, he did it again. Are you serious, dude? And Dame is like, Curry he's made clutch shots and stuff like that, but not as many, oh my God, clutch shots as Dame and Reggie Miller. And he's had a but it just seems the volume of it's more on the Dame and the Reggie side. And again, not like a blowout or anything like that. But anyway, I got Con, and so that's going to be fun, man. We got 2 Cons and we got 2 Dames. Let the games begin on All-Star Saturday night. Let's talk dunk contest. You guys want to talk?
Yeah.
Dunk contest. Yeah. All right, who wins? I'm going to go first here. I'm going to keep it really, really quick. First of all, shame on the NBA for not reaching out to Trey Murphy. He said, I would have participated if I was invited. And Trey Murphy would dominate this field. We have Carter Bryant, who never plays. We have Jackson Hayes, who's a backup. We have Keshad Johnson, who I promise most of you are like, who? More people know Mac McClung than Keshad Johnson, and Jace Richardson, the rookie to Orlando, okay? And he doesn't play a whole lot. It's unfortunate that Mac McClung is no longer around to bail out this dunk contest.
He said no. So
and so
he said no.
Thank you. When a G League dude big times your event, your event is in a crisis mode. Okay, like I said, I was going to make this quick, and apparently I lied. In AMU next year, I'm going Keshad Johnson. Why am I going Keshad Johnson? Because the biggest no-name slam dunk contest in the history of slam dunk contests, of course, the most no-name guy in that competition will win it. That's it. That's my analysis. I have no idea. Nor do I really care, but I'm going Keshad Johnson.
I'm going to win the dunk contest because my money's staying in my pocket and not going on any of these guys, and I don't even plan on watching it. I'm out to dinner somewhere else, so the money's going on some delicious meal.
He's dining with Larry David. Okay, that's right.
This year, AM Pfeffer wins the dunk contest because I don't have to be a part of it.
Wow. Interesting take.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think Carter Bryant. I'm going to go Carter Bryant. I feel like I'm not sure why he's not in the rotation for the Spurs, but I know
deep, man,
coming in,
first round pick.
He has the metrics. He has the body type that looks good in the dunk contest. He's not a big. He's not necessarily a small guard, which also looks good as well. But I think he fits the prototype for a dunk contest. And I know he has athleticism.
Yes, he does.
Dwight, before you answer your question, just a quick question: how old is Jason Richardson? Because Jace is his son. Right?
Yes.
How old's Jason Richardson? I remember watching him at Michigan State.
Probably
when I was
45
I
or
want to say
something.
45 to 50.
So he's got a son in the NBA who's in the contest. I'm rooting for him, just so you know, by the way. Big Ten all the way.
I'll look up his age here. Go ahead. Who you got in the dunk?
You guys know that Dwight Walton is known for his long-winded answers, his responses.
Timer, please.
But a lot like my man Rick Kamla right here, because I have no idea who Keshad Jackson is, I'm picking him to win it simply because I don't know him. And guys who are not known tend to rise to the occasion because this is their 15 minutes of fame.
Fred Jones, right?
Yeah. So because of that reason, I think he's going to win it. This is like, if I'm going to go out swinging, let this be my moment. My name will be on the tip of everybody's tongue for at least the next week or until next year, if given the opportunity to defend my championship. So, Keshad Jackson is my choice to win the dunk contest this year.
All right. We got a Carter Bryant, we got an AM Pfeffer, and we got 2 for Keshad Johnson. I don't know how many other panel shows you have 2 of the guys picking Keshad Johnson, but that's how we're rocking up here, and I like it. All right, let's try. This is a challenge here. Who wins the All-Star game? Let me give you all the format here. I know a lot of you are so they changed it this year. It's a round robin deal, which means the top 2 teams with the best records after the round robin games will play in the final game. So game 1, USA Stars versus Team World. That's the young guns on the USA side versus Team World. Game 2 is the USA Stripes, the older heads, like Kevin Durant says, against the winner of Game 1. Game 3 is the US Stripes team against the loser of Game 1. So every team will get 2 games, and then they will determine who the top 2 teams are So that round robin will eliminate one of the teams. And it will be Luka in the world side because most of those guys absolutely hate the All-Star. Okay.
Can I respond first?
Of course.
Now I'm upset. I'm a world guy. Remember that.
Your top 2 players hate the game, though, Dwight.
But the thing is, and again, all things being equal.
And your other top player ain't playing in the game. And your other top player ain't playing in the game.
Also, really, Canada's just an extension of the U.S., let's be honest.
He said it.
You guys play O Canada right now. Play it right now.
AM said it. AM said it.
All things being equal.
We got political just then. Wow, that was kind of crazy. What is this, Fox Nation? What are we doing here?
Nice cufflinks, cuz. I like those cufflinks.
Thank you very much.
Can I see?
Oh my gosh, this is so good. Yeah, those are fly.
Those are good.
That tie, you're doing something with that tie too, man.
I appreciate it very much. Thank you. Anyway, all things being equal, I do understand that SGA is not playing. There's a good chance that both Jokic and Dončić aren't playing. Jokic is currently playing for the Nuggets, so he'll probably play. But anytime you have Jamal Murray, Denny Avdija, Nikola Jokic, and to me, one of the top 2 players to have the most impact in the game of basketball and winning, in Victor Wembanyama, who has promised us that he is going to play hard. He wants to set the tone for the All-Star game. And again, Commissioner Adam Silver has been grasping at straws to improve the best part of the weekend, which should be the game. The onus is on the players. If they all play hard, I firmly believe the world team will win the All-Star, the inaugural World versus USA All-Star Championship. I firmly believe that. I'm an international player myself. Yes, I honed my skills in the United States of America during my collegiate years, which you expect to see on a college of Florida Tech. But again, all things being equal, and if all the players decide to show competitive spirit, I firmly believe the world will win the All-Star Championship.
A lot of ifs in that prediction.
Can I respond?
A lot of ifs.
Can I be next?
Come on in here.
Dwight, I agree with you. I'm going.
Wow.
And I know I just made the joke about
Angelina hit you with a sheesh.
No,
she did.
She did.
She just went sheesh.
I deserved it. I'm going to tell you something. You're so right. Wembanyama has promised to come correct. This guy has made me love this game. Like, I love the NBA to begin. Like, I'm on a level with where he is in the last 10 days. He is so truly otherworldly, and I really firmly believe he's going to show up to this game and, like, put his stamp on this. And he's the biggest dog in the NBA at this point, and he is ready to just bark and chew heads across the board. And he's doing it on the court during the games anyway, so why not in the All-Star game when, like, it's all spread out and you just lob it to him? No Giannis, no SGA, probably no Dončić, maybe no Jokic, and who knows who else gets put in there. It doesn't matter. Wembanyama is the man is on a mission. I'm putting my money on World. I'm with you, man.
Let me give you the teams here, Doc. The USA Stars is Scotty Barnes, Devin Booker, Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren, Anthony Edwards, Chet Holmgren, Jalen Johnson, and Tyrese Maxey. The U.S. Stripes team, the old head team, Jaylen Brown, Jalen Brunson, Curry, who's not playing, Ingram, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, Donovan Mitchell, Norman Powell. Mitch Johnson will be the coach of that team, and J.B. Bickerstaff will coach the USA Stars. Darko Rajakovic will coach the world team. Giannis, Avdija, Dončić, SGA, Jokic, Jamal Murray, Siakam, Şengün, Cat, and Wemby. Which team you picking?
I'm going with Stripes all day, only because we got the experience. I love the fact that Donovan.
You called Kenny Walker to win Super Bowl MVP, bro. The people are listening right now.
I appreciate that. But see, I like Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell's energy, he's ready to play every game. He doesn't take any nights off.
Yes, he is.
He's going to light it up. I don't know if anybody on that side outside of Jamal Murray can light up. But then you have KD. alongside, Donovan Mitchell. Then you also have Kawhi Leonard.
KD better bring it, by the way, after throwing Dončić and Jokic under the bus. KD better bring it, man.
That's like Team USA All-Star right there. Like, so I know when he thrives in these environments.
The greatest USA Olympian. Sorry, Michael Phelps. No, Michael Phelps, you are still the greatest USA Olympian.
100%.
But like KD, the greatest basketball Olympian of all time, 4 gold medals. So let's just put it like that. And why, by the way, why he's in my top 10.
Carmelo and LeBron. Carmelo and LeBron are in that combo too for me.
They are, but KD.
I'm not saying KD's nothing. I just want to give Melo and LeBron dap because they've got
absolutely
incredible resumes.
But 12, 16, and 20, KD.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Notice in describing the Stripes team, the one player he did not mention.
Well, I was cut off, so I get to finish my.
Did I mention his name? I hope so.
LeBron James.
Thank you very much. Don't leave him out.
I was gonna go to Kawhi Leonard.
Okay.
So Kawhi Leonard could play defense in the sleep, and then on top of that, you have someone in LBJ who is going to be playing with some more pride. This might be his last All-Star game. I don't think so, but and then so with all that said, the only thing they're lacking is a big man. Do they have like a center on their squad?
On the Stripes team?
Yeah, LeBron.
A true center.
They do not.
Which is why I also think they have the advantage as well, because it's going to be a running gun, barely any defense.
Yeah, you don't really need a big in that anyway.
No one's going to really, maximize that mismatch. And then they have Karl Anthony Towns on the other team, and I just feel like the seriousness of the only person, like Wemby is the one, right? Mm-hmm. But Wemby is going to get the business. And then don't forget about my guy, Brunson. So if it comes down to the clutch, and Brunson's going to care. He's going to care.
He cared about the NBA Cup.
Yeah, I know, but look who he's surrounded with now. You get what I'm saying?
Okay. Jalen Brown's a bring it guy too.
It's almost going to be like the Hampton Five, that the Warriors type of lineup, a small lineup versus the world, and I got them all day.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
No. If it's an actual question,
it is an actual question.
I give you 5 to 10 seconds.
All things being equal.
Yes.
And the guys play hard.
Yes.
Who should win the tournament?
The Stripes.
If everything's equal, I say Stripes.
You don't have Luka. You don't have SGA. All you have is Wemby, and Wemby has played with the Spurs. Wemby has played with the Spurs for a lot of years, and they don't win every game. So what says they're going to win this game?
Look,
he doesn't have the dogs.
It's more than just Wemby. I'm ready to see him light
dog?
it up and
which dog does Wemby is outside of Wemby?
Jamal Murray is having a year of
outside
years.
of Jamal Murray. Is there another dog? Because you have Castle usually that plays with them. You have all these other guys.
Brooks gets invited to this weekend.
Yeah,
that's another dog.
And even Poe, by the way, this leans in his direction because this is going to be an offensive game. So this is going to go well for not Cat Poe, Karl Anthony Towns, just in case everybody forgets.
I think Kawhi Leonard will
we'll see
silence
Kawhi, you never know.
And Donovan Mitchell always brings it with Jamal Murray. They go 40 against 40 all day.
Thank you.
Good point.
The world is winning.
And Murray's not as athletic in this game, so I don't think he's going to have the biggest impact.
The world is missing SGA. That's for sure. He's
really
a big X factor.
Stripes, people. Stripes.
All right, so we're 2-2 here.
Stripes, Dwight.
I'm with Doc. I'm with Doc. I go with the Stripes. I mean, it's all about level of motivation. It's all about level of motivation. Who's motivated? Who after partying and all the events and all the appearances and all the obligations and all the interviews. I mean, the guys are legitimately tired. I mean, I'm not going to be insensitive to that, but it's your job, okay? People wake up on 3 hours of sleep and work a 10-hour day. I don't think it's too much to ask you guys to bring a modicum of effort. And that's all we're asking. Nobody wants you diving on the floor like Rodman, okay? Nobody's saying that. Bring a modicum of effort. And I have no idea if anybody's going to do that. I'm just going to go like Dwight. Because I don't damn know, okay? So I'm just going to play it straight here. The best roster is the Stripes team. To me, that's the best roster. The best player is Wemby, okay? But and Wemby said, I'm going to play hard, and if people don't want to, follow my lead, then I'm going to eat them alive. Or that's not what he said, but you get the point. And I love that, okay? I freaking love that. But will his world teammates give a damn about that? Will Wemby be on an island of playing hard in a game with nobody else playing hard? I don't know. It's I kind of want Wemby to win because, like, and that's what I can't wait to see is his level of play hard so much different from every other player? Like, does he stick out like a sore thumb? Like, imagine like Dwight Walton in an 8-year-old church league game, right? Just out there beasting like little kids, right? Like, does Wemby look like that? You know, against these, because the NBA guy's like, Wemby, you want it. Who cares? Here's your little stupid trophy, dude. We just want to get to the club quicker, all right? Or, shoot, it's Sunday night. They want to get to their private jet to get on vacation as soon as possible after the All-Star game. So that's my answer, dude. I go U.S. stripes. You go U.S. stripes.
Man. We got
stripes, and we got
today.
stripes on. His are doper than mine, but and then we got the world squad right here.
Yeah. You're Canadian for the rest of the weekend.
All right, I'll take it, man.
I don't know if they're going to claim him, though, after that comment.
But it was in jest.
Y'all know out there that the world's going to win. You know it. Listen, once Wemby laid down the gauntlet.
It's not about that. It's actually a buzzkill that SGA and Luka's, So I just feel like if Luka and SGA were playing, then I would have a harder time picking the stripes.
Interesting, guys. All right, let's so I think we pretty much exhausted our all-star content here. Let's go. I want to go to something that Pat Riley said. And we're going to have Cal Bowdler joining us very soon, former NBA players with the Players Association in Atlanta, making his way here to our studios right now. So Pat Riley said recently on Dwayne Wade's podcast, he said he's not a fan of today's NBA. He said, I'm not a big fan of today's game, but I have to adapt like everybody else, which I have done. And so the question here, I want to go around the table here, pick one old school NBA thing to bring back. And I'll go first here. For me, and there's a lot of cool old school stuff that could be brought back into today's game. For me, it's post play. When I played pickup basketball at a very, very low level, I was a post player. 6'2", you know what happens? They put you in the hole, and I'm always guarding a guy 6'8" or some guy that looks like Dwight, okay? Because nobody else, is 5'10", 5'9", 5'7", 6'1", so I get that assignment. But as they said in the movie, bring that ish to me, man, okay? So, but post play, inside-out basketball, hooks with both hands, drop steps, power dribbles, up and unders, Kevin McHale, dream shakes, Hakeem, spinning fadeaway J's out of a back down, like Kobe and MJ and LeBron and Tatum does it. Kevin Durant does it, right? So, but obviously there's barely any post play in the NBA today. In the NBA back in the day, it was dominated by post play in the 80s and 90s. So that's what I would bring back. How about you, AM?
I love it. You took my answer. I agree. Yeah, post play. And I want like elbow jumper around the post play. You know what I'm saying? Like within 6 to 8 feet. Near the strike too. If you bring it back to it just make the paint relevant even more. It's missed so many times in this game. I mean, and as much as I just touted the 3-ball and loved the kick out or the game, the movement, trying to get to that, there's a balance that's absolutely missing there. Cam, so agree with you.
Doc?
Yeah, I actually agree with you. Yesterday when the Knicks were playing Philadelphia 76ers, Karl Anthony Towns actually did a drop step. I was like, thank God, like someone's probably been working with him. He did another move recently as well, where he's just getting quicker. Like, back in the day, it was like you post and then you throw it back out to repost if you don't have good position. And I'd rather him just take, 2 or 3 dribbles if it's not there, or if you can't just dribble one and just turn around. Probably not the best post move, but I'm glad he's using the drop step. I'm glad, but I only saw it once all season. I need to see it more because he has an advantage most of the time.
As a post player on this panel, I'm not going to bring back the post game. What I want to see is a lot more, and you've seen it in the last couple of playoffs. I don't know if the NBA has mandated it, but you're starting to see a lot more physicality defensively in the NBA. There's a little bit more liberal with the whistle in the playoffs. I want to be able to hand check the off the ball chunking. Don't let somebody come through the lane as easy as it has been over the last decade or so. I get that you want to see the skill, the free flow, the free body movement, the ball movement, all of that stuff. I get it. But I think allowing the players to have an advantage somewhat defensively to where you could use the forearm, you could use the off-ball chuck, you could sort of hand check a little bit, you're also testing the ball handling skills of the ball handler. I just think there's a little bit too much freedom. And I think that because some of the players, some of the league has gotten so used to the free-flowing game, that's why they complain about teams like Oklahoma City, who are a lot more handsy, a lot more physical than most of the teams in the NBA. And some players are bothered by that. And I think they need to bring that back consistently to where all of the players can do it. And the officials use advantage more than the actual rule itself. Make it make common sense. If a player if an advantage is given to the defense because of a chuck or a hand check, then you blow the whistle. But if there's no harm, no foul, let the play go. Let some more physicality go defensively. That's what I want to see the NBA bring back, not only in the playoffs, but during the regular season.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, fantastic stuff. We are going to right now, Mike Yam of NFL Network and NBA TV was in our studio yesterday. I sat down with him. We had an amazing chat. Dwight and Doc got to meet him as well before Mike and I sat down for the interview. So we're going to throw to a nice portion of that interview right now. Coming out of it, we will have Cal Bowdler. He is with the Players Association in Atlanta, former first-round pick and an NBA player as well, and a hell of a dude. He's my boy, and he will be on with us live here in studio after you heard me and Mike Yam talk about some current events, talk about some maybe media training that might help you all out, but I hope you dig it. It is Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network, and we have a very special guest, the one and only, the great Mike Yam. He is a host on NBA TV, NFL Network. He's worked at ESPN, Pac-12 Network. He's hosted fantasy shows. And Mike and I are dear friends, and we go way back. Welcome to our studios, man.
I get a text message. You tell me you're in Los Angeles. You're like, can you stop by the show? Of course, I can stop by. It is awesome to see you, man. I was thinking about it because you go down memory lane. You mentioned NBA TV. That's where we used to hang back in the day, doing a ton of fantasy shows.
Hugely busy time for you. You had the Super Bowl last week. Now we got All-Star Weekend coming up, and so. You've worked both of these gigs, so just talk about how hectic that is, how awesome that hecticness is, and what your assignments have been and what they will be this weekend.
It's been a blast. It's just juggling the amount of games and inventory. Last night, I was doing a show on NBA TV, and I'm embarrassed to admit this because you know me well enough to know if I make a mistake, man, I still think about it.
We all are.
100%. And, we finished up the show. I think we were talking about Isaiah Stewart and obviously the little fisticuffs, and obviously the suspension came down. But at that point, I'd said something to the effect of like, toughest guy we have in the NFL. And
because of you're doing so many sports.
So like sometimes to keep it, and by the way, to be fair, like Isaiah probably could play in the NFL. He does have the demeanor, the stature, and the whole thing.
And the ring.
100% to go down that path. But the point is, sometimes it just gets overloaded in your brain.
Number one takeaway from the Super Bowl.
Oh my God. Defense can win championships, that old adage. When you're 23, there's only so many phenoms, and I think Drake May is in that category. But at times, he looked like a 23-year quarterback, at least in the Super Bowl. And look, I'd also point to the fact that Seattle they're a juggernaut. They were the most complete team in the NFL. I felt like the NFC Championship with the Rams was, in a lot of ways, like the quasi-Super Bowl. I felt like the Rams were the best team, to be honest with you, as the season went on.
I did too. I thought they were going to win it all.
I thought they were the team to beat. And, I can't help but think, and this is, the margins in sports are so small. If Los Angeles is able to get one of the two-point conversion stops in the matchup in Seattle during the season, maybe they're a one seed. And what does that path look like for Seattle if they're not a one seed? So, there's just so many differences, but the reality is they didn't get those stops. Seattle was the dominant team. They got those wins, and they earned the right to be the one seed in the NFC. But, you know what it reminds me of? I was talking about this, and you can appreciate this because this is going back to the days when we were working together. Early, 2003, 2004 Pistons squad. Like, tell me who the superstar was on that team. Like, that was a collection of just really good players, right? I mean,
I love that analogy. I do.
And I thought Seattle, in a lot of ways, was like this. And because, look, they have a star in JSN. Like, you can make an argument Jackson Smith and Jigba's best wide receiver in the NFL. There's a case to be made for that. But tell me outside of JSN, like, who's the superstar? Like, I don't know where I would point to.
And
Like,
he's not a superstar yet. Like, he's in no commercials. He'll get commercials now.
oh, no question. But think about this. If Seattle and their roster, if the Seahawks were the New York Seahawks,
Good point.
we're having a
Oh, yeah.
very different
Oh, yeah.
conversation right now. I got a lot of
Sam
friends.
Darnold's already in the Ring of Honor and all this
100%.
stuff.
Like, it's
Yeah,
just, it's a different calculus because of the East Coast bias, which is real. I experienced it.
It's
When
large.
When I lived on the East Coast, I was like, oh, stop your whining and complaining. Then I moved west and I realized I was like, oh, no, it's actually a thing. And I think the people, like, if you hop on shows, and I'm sure you do too, Seattle Talk Radio, they would ask, like, hey, are we just not getting respect? Like, damn right you're not getting respect during the course of the season. They deserved it, they earned it, and it wasn't coming their way. And I think part of that had to do with the time zone, which is unfortunate. But at the end of the season, they got the Lombardi trophies. That's the only thing that matters.
The reason that I thought the Rams, and I actually thought the Patriots were going to win the Super Bowl, was Sam Darnold. Kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Totally.
He's had some struggles in big games. And I say this about James Harden all the time. I am here for your breakthrough in the playoffs. I'm here for it. I've got a bouquet of flowers. I'm ready to throw them at you. But you got to go do that. And Sam Darnold did that. And I think that's super cool because he did have clutch issues. Not like Tony Romo or Carson Palmer, but he did have clutch issues to get over, and he did. I want to get your perspective on the coaching strategy of Mike Vrabel and or Josh McDaniels.
Sure.
A lot's been said about it. I've said a lot about it, but I don't want to lead the witness here. What just overall, what's your take on that?
Okay, so number one, I would say remarkable job. It's hard to argue for Mike Vrabel not to be coach of the year. I mean,
Totally agree.
There's a remarkable job that he did with this roster. I think Josh has now shown that he is one of the premier offensive coordinators in the NFL. And say what you want, and I'm not suggesting that Josh can't be an NFL coach at some point, but the case study is here where we've seen the evidence. This dude is a stud when he's an OC, a stud when he's around young quarterbacks, and yet for whatever reason, and it might be roster construction, whatever excuse you want to make, it just hasn't worked out for him as a head coach. And that's okay. But I look at a 23-year-old Drake May who's had that much success. The one storyline, Rick, that I don't think, we've talked about it a few times on a lot of the shows that we've done at NFL Network, but I don't think it gets highlighted nearly enough. This was an organization that spent over $300 million in the offseason. So I think in some ways, and I started by saying, Vrabel deserves the credit. He should be coach of the year. But at the same time, I would go, that roster's a whole lot different. For the people who say, well, look at what they were a year ago and look at what they are now, all good. What I would challenge those fans to do is look side by side at those rosters, and there's some significant upgrades. So I give a lot of credit to the front office, too, for executing. You spend that much money, and you hit the way that they did. Because it's one thing to deploy some of the cash. It's another thing to make sure that those guys are a perfect fit, and they were for this team. So kudos across the board. I think it goes beyond just the coaching staff who deserves credit. I think the organization as a whole deserves a whole lot of love.
Mike Yam is with us, fellas and ladies, here on the X-Rated Sports Network. Our show is Beyond the Surface. We have Mike Yam with us. We're excited about that. Let's talk a little NBA.
Yeah.
I think the tanking crisis / epidemic is at an all-time high. You had the Utah stunt against Orlando. Washington's trying to curb Davis and Trey, and I feel like the league reached out, and that's why we got that sort of counter from Will Dawkins, their GM. You had the Lakers basically with the line change, forfeiture of a game against the San Antonio Spurs. I saw Draymond Green. He's making it sound like Golden State is sort of separated from that. Steve Kerr does the line change where he rests Curry and Draymond and five guys, and so. But anyway, tanking's out of control. We understand that there's a hot draft class coming up. If you were Adam Silver, what would you do to help curb, eliminate the tanking crisis?
So I think we're unfortunately at a place right now where, and let me rewind for a second, because you and I grew up on a brand of NBA basketball where load management was like that doesn't even make sense. And I
Correct.
don't want to sound like the old guy, get the ball off my lawn.
No, I preach.
But
I'm here. I'm listening.
It's different. And you could make the argument, well, Mike, nowadays there's analytics and we know how to, the health of players, we know how to keep them healthy. But I would also make the argument, I'm seeing a ton of soft tissue injuries, not just in the NBA, but also seeing it in a variety of sports. We've dealt with it too on the NFL side of things. So there's that aspect of it. I think the league has tried. Like Adam Silver, I think, has done candidly his best in trying to curtail some of this stuff. We have a lottery. We've had the lottery for a long period of time, and that kind of mitigates some of this stuff. And there's things that are in place, whether it's being eligible for postseason awards, where you're sitting guys down. I think, and I don't know, because you said, what would I do? And I don't know if I would have the cojones to go and do this, but I think the only thing you can do is create a level of metrics on games missed, for example, and say, if you hit this threshold, you don't get the pick that you earn in the lottery. And it's not to say that you won't pick in the first round, but there's a penalty where you drop 2 or 3 spots, 4 or 5 spots. The extreme situation is like, you just don't get a pick. Now, I don't think we'd ever get into that world. I don't know what else. I honestly don't know what the solution is. And to your point, like, I don't know if I could make the call on something like that.
Your idea is very similar to mine. I want the NBA to create a load management police department, and they monitor rest, DNPs, all that stuff. And because I don't buy. Adam Silver said there's no data to support load management helping players. Here's my idea. The load management police department creates tanking points, like technical foul points that lead up to 16 and you get the suspension. If you hit, a tanking point threshold, you, again, you probably don't lose your draft pick, but you're going to slide. Ultimately, I think you do have to dangle the carrot of you're going to lose your draft pick because fines aren't getting anybody's attention. Cuban was fined $750,000 for the Lively tank. They got the player. He doesn't care about that.
100%.
So you've got to create something that's extremely harsh. The new CBA is extremely harsh. It has curbed the Joe Lakeups and the big spenders, and they can't even do it anymore. So it's worked. And so a really harsh setup has gotten the NBA exactly what it wants. So I think they need a harsh setup with that. Is fighting good for the NBA, Mike Yam?
You should not ask me this question because...
Is it political thin ice?
No, so here's...
If so, I'll retract.
No, but you know I'm a Knicks fan. So 90s Knicks, like
yes.
we had dudes. We had guys that you just didn't want to mess with.
Mason, Oakley,
100%.
Ewing,
Like
Heck, Starks, what's my guy,
so,
Childs?
Oh my God, Chris out there. Like there was just dudes you just wouldn't mess with.
Mm-hmm.
And
even the little guys, you didn't want to mess with them.
100%. You'd see Charlie Ward out there, and you wouldn't mind getting into a little tussle every once in a while as well. I grew up on that. I also grew up on a physical game where, you weren't worried necessarily about hand checking. You weren't worried about, breathing hard on a guy and hearing a whistle. So I think, now look, the sport's evolved, right? Like, and I think style of play is also dramatically different. Spurs had 84 points against the Lakers at halftime. Like I'm sitting there going, like, in what were like?
You mean the South Bay Lakers?
Right. Well, there's that too, right? Without LeBron and Luka and Reeves, DeAndre Ayton didn't play, Marcus Smart didn't play in the game. So you're right. It was the South Bay Lakers. But so when you ask me, like, is fighting good? Like, intellectually, I would say, no, it's not. But I also understand the competitive nature of a lot of these guys when they're getting after it. And I do, the whole jersey swaps and the dinner, like, once again, this is just not what I grew up with. And it's not to say that this is bad.
Right,
I'm not suggesting that. But I do wish, we shouldn't get to the point where fights are happening. Like, I would say that. But I would like to see a more physical game out on the floor.
Totally understand. Let's talk some fantasy basketball.
Oh, no. How many leagues did you play? Like, when we were
that's
rolling.
That's a good question. Peak 15 footballs.
Oh, my God.
And probably 12 basketballs and probably 13 baseballs
Oh my God,
And
that's like psychotic, dude.
It is. It most definitely is. I've trimmed it way back. Like we've talked, I've kind of been getting into acting and music and stuff like that. So I've got another hobby that's kind of Pac-Manning, that hobby.
Totally.
But no, I still do it. I'm in 7 fantasy basketball leagues this year. I was in like 5 or 6 footballs, and like baseball's coming up, and I'm thinking about taking the year off from fantasy baseball.
You're not going to be able to.
I don't think I'm going to be able to. But I'm in 4 dynasty leagues. They're on Yahoo. And so, like, my teams are badass, dude. So I think I'm going to come back with just those 4 teams and totally and not do any cash leagues or any public leagues. So I've tried to get more quality than quantity.
Your low end amount of leagues, by the way, is like what I was at my peak. I just want to throw that out there right now.
I've worked at Fantasy Sports Radio on Sirius XM, and I've just had all these. I was at Sports Ethos. I worked at RotoWire. And so I've talked a lot of. I'm telling you right now, there are football guys that are in like 75 leagues. I mean, 15 is absolutely psychopathically insane. And these guys are in 73 leagues. And a lot of them are like the FOB league, which is really complicated with waivers and money, and you got to really put a lot of time into it. I don't want to do that now. No. Every day you got to like set your lineups and stuff. I want that to last about 10, 15 minutes. And then I'm on to, the important stuff. One more question for you. Again, we're back at Fordham, Journalism 101. Give the young dudes and ladies out there who are in college right now, they're in their bedroom at 15, turning the TV down and doing play-by-play, like we did back in the day. Give them, to get where we are, give them one do and one don't.
I think the biggest thing, and look, I think all of us have faced challenges in our career. I don't know one person in life that had a career path that was like this, straight line up. That doesn't exist. It's always going to be rocky. Things are going to happen. The sense of resiliency that you need to have in a competitive business is really important. But I'm convinced that if you have a natural inquisitiveness about how you operate, take a genuine interest in people and how they feel when they're around you, I think is so valuable, because in those moments, how much harder will a PA work on the shows that when you're on with them, for example? I want them to know, like, hey, like, I actually, I'm into like what are your genuine interests? Like, what are you into outside of this place?
Yep.
Getting to know people is a really valuable thing. So I would say, like, how you leave people when you're with them and how they feel when they're around you is by far the most important thing that's going to help you in this career. And say yes. Like, I think the biggest don't would be to think that you are bigger than the opportunity that is right in front of you. And sometimes looking past that is, I think, a little bit of a detriment.
I wish we had a studio audience to give you a huge round of applause.
It's so good to see you.
This has been phenomenal. Yeah. I'm so happy for your success. I'm so proud of you, man. I mean, we've known each other a long time. Wow. We've had wins, we've had losses, and after all these years, we come together in LA. Awesome. And this has been absolutely incredible. I appreciate you, man.
Man, I appreciate the invite, dude. It's awesome to see you in person. I was so excited when you shot me a text. You're like, can you come by? I'm like, let's make this work. So it's awesome to be with you, man. I appreciate it.
Continued success, my friend.
You too.
The great Mike Yam, ladies and gentlemen. It is Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network, and we have a very special guest. The one and only, the great Mike Yam. He is the NFL Network. He's worked at ESPN, Pac-12 Network. He's hosted fantasy shows. And Mike and I are dear friends, and we go way back. Welcome to our studios, man.
I get a text message. You tell me you're in Los Angeles. You're like, can you stop by the show? Of course, I can stop by. It is awesome to see you, man. I was thinking about it because you go down memory lane. You mentioned NBA TV. That's where we used to hang back in the day, doing a ton of fantasy shows.
Hugely busy time for you. You had the Super Bowl last week. Now we got All-Star Weekend coming up, and so. You've worked both of these gigs, so just talk about how hectic that is, how awesome. And ladies and gentlemen, the quick change right there. Our guys, Jason and Kai, are doing their thing. We have Cal Bowdler, friend of Beyond the Surface, joining us right here in our LA studios. Cal just got in. Threw a jacket on for us, like you're rolling out all the good stuff for us. We love it, man. But Cal's out here. He's the vice president of the MBRPA Atlanta Board of Directors. former NBA player, first-round pick in 1999 to the Atlanta Hawks. Cal Bowdler, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, thanks for having me, and I'm glad I had a jacket in my suitcase. I can tell you that. So we're going for you guys. You guys look sharp.
Looking good, man. I love the frames too, Cal. I love the frames. You're doing it with that, man. So welcome to LA. We love it. What are you looking to accomplish this weekend? Like, what got you in a plane? Other than, of course, hanging out with us here, what are you going to be doing this weekend in LA?
So great question. So I just, as you mentioned, joined the executive team for the Atlanta chapter of the Retired Players Association, and one of the things that the national organization does every year is two big time sort of events. One around Summer League, and then one around All-Star Week, whatever city it's in. So a bunch of us coming out, people that are in town. We've got a community event that we're doing on Saturday, a youth basketball camp. There's a big down at LA Live somewhere. I'm not sure the address, but they're the Legends Bash. It's a block party, like a 3 to 7 and something. So we're going to be doing that. And then, of course, there's more on Sunday. We've got an opportunity for everybody to come together and reconnect and connect. And so it's great. There's a lot of really good stuff. And this will be my first time. So I'm super excited to come out and take it all in and reconnect with a lot of folks. It's going to be good. It's going to be fun.
That's incredible. Are you going to the Legends Brunch on Sunday? Is that going to be one of your stops?
Yes, for sure. And I don't know if it's going to be a brunch this year or some sort of award show. I hear they might be tweaking that in some kind of way. But for whatever it is, I'll be there. I'm going to be checking all the stuff out that we're doing, and excited to be participating.
Have you been to one of those yet?
I haven't.
You haven't?
I have not.
It's going to take your breath away.
I'm excited
because it's Dr. J and Magic, and it's like the room is royalty. I've been there for 2, just as a spectator.
Yep.
Ernie Johnson usually does an outstanding job of hosting and emceeing. He'll come up with a poem, and Ernie, you're the best. We already knew that, but you are going to love the Legends Brunch. It's just one. It's even for you, a former NBA player in your role right now. It's still going to be some pinch me vibes. All right, Doc. I know you had a current events breaking news question for Cal Bowdler.
All right, basketball fans, Knicks fans. So yesterday, Jeremy Sohan was released or waived by the San Antonio Spurs. So Jeremy Sohan is actually going to be picked up by the New York Knicks.
They win again.
Yes, and so now, what's everybody's reactions to that?
Well, if you're starting with me, I mean, the Knicks have been interesting. They've lost some games where they probably shouldn't have, but if you look at their record is still really good and strong. Most people looking at them as the favorite to come out of the East, even though they've faltered some. So they're trying to put it together. Make a push to the end and get stronger. Can't fall. All power to them. I guess I'm not a Knicks guy, but they're doing a good job.
I am a Knicks guy.
Yes.
You know how excited I am. First of all, Jose Alvarado last night in the thumping of the 76ers, 26 off the bench, right? Only
5
2
steals.
turnovers. 5 steals and only 2 turnovers, right? So he was as needed. Dude, you and I are so excited, so hands on this. This is huge. I got Polish blood running through these veins, right? And Jeremy, I believe Julius with a Z at the end of it, Sohan, and a little send up to my ancestors. My one of my sons' middle name Julius as well.
Nice.
Jeremy, welcome to the team, man. Your 6'8" versatility. I mean, I think you're like a 10-5-3 guy throughout your career, but you've been, a little wasted down in San Antonio this year. Exactly, right? Like he doesn't really kind of fit in with what they've been doing down there. Now we get to unleash him a little bit. This is exactly what the Knicks need. I'm excited.
Yep.
So the buyout market has not been sexy. There have not been a lot of moves. There have not been a lot of big names. There's not a lot of impactful stuff out there. Lonzo Ball is kind of dang. But first of all, like Sohan was a first-round pick 3-4 years ago. I'm smelling second apron here, right? Like, okay, he's probably coming up to get paid. I haven't looked at his contract stuff, but they're probably like we're not going to be able to pay this guy, and he's completely fallen out of the rotation. Remember, he asked for a trade. Jeremy Sohan did, quietly, kind of low key, but nothing happened with that because teams just don't want to give a lot of assets up. But I also wonder if the relationship soured with him in the front office and maybe Mitch Johnson, and I don't want to put that on Jeremy and act like he's a problem child, but I just don't know. It seemed if you're going to cut a guy like Jeremy Sohan midstream like this, because God forbid, I don't want to mention an exact name, but let's say 2 of San Antonio's key wings, because they're super deep on the wing, right? Let's say 2 of those guys get hurt. Then Sohan would be probably back in their rotation.
Yeah.
So this is confusing to me on the San Antonio side. To me, there's way more to the story than we know right now. but it's a phenomenal get for the Knicks.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't a 33 or 34-year-old mercenary buyout who might give you something or be a good, locker room presence and all that kind of. Sochan, what is he, 26? Yeah, I mean, you're getting a young, springy, aggressive, defensive-minded. I just don't understand the fallout in San Antonio. And I'm not trying to send this guy to an all-star game of the Hall of Fame, but he's a hell of it. You guys got Jose Alvarado and Jeremy Sochan. You just went.
Yeah.
I mean, Leon Rose, dude, this is executive of the year stuff.
So these are the tweaks that my cousin and I have been talking about. My cousin, as you know, has been on this Giannis Antetokounmpo to the New York Knicks train the entire season. But like I said earlier, throughout the season, the Knicks needed to give Mike Brown and this roster the chance to flourish, at least get to the Eastern Conference Finals again and see if they can knock the door down and get to the NBA Finals. I was more on the side of tweaking the lineup. You pick up Jose Alvarado at the trade deadline, and then now you get a chance to pick up Jeremy Sochan, who's going to add depth on the wing. He's going to bring some athleticism. He's going to bring some defense to a team that has been better over the last week to 10 days. It's going to bring more consistent defensive effort, and he's a more than capable three-point shooter, particularly from the corner. It's not a strength, but you have to honor him. He can make the three. I think he will bring that. He's got some savoir-faire too. He's got some flair, has a different color hair sometimes. So I think that will fit the New York market. But overall, to pick up Jose Alvarado and now Jeremy Sochan over the course of the last week, the Knicks are very much in play to make noise in the East, hopefully come out of the East, and possibly win an NBA championship.
Well, I'll say this, though.
Yes,
absolutely. But I'll say this. He definitely has some edge. I think we haven't mentioned that. Yeah, we know he's a good defender, but he's gotten a couple brush-ups
no doubt
in
about
his career, and he's ready to fight. He's ready to, stick up for his teammates. And so now we just don't have, the small, Scrappy-Doo. We have Scooby-Doo, but with a little bite in them. You know what I mean? So, you can't always have Jose Alvarado. They can actually bounce off each other. You don't know which way it's coming. And so I think that just gives us the toughness that we need to go against a team like Detroit. So I like the edge that we finally have.
And this comes back to Jalen Brunson, guys. You mentioned his number the other day, $113 million that he left on the table. The Knicks are able to make these moves because Brunson is so magnanimous to his team, one of the only guys in the league who will actually do this. And Rick, to your point about what the Spurs are doing, you heard me banging on the drum all year so far that they should have gotten off De'Aaron Fox's contract if there was any opportunity before this deadline. And I think there were teams who would have taken him. Toronto Raptors was someone that they could have had conversations with. And now the Spurs have to make some tough decisions moving forward because once that kicks in next year, good God, he's getting way overpaid.
But if the Spurs go on to win a championship this season or next season, having De'Aaron Fox, they can deal with that issue later on.
It's a good point.
It's what De'Aaron Fox is a major part of what the Spurs want to do. I understand your point. We were talking about Carter Bryant earlier. This is why he's not playing. The Spurs have a plethora of young, talented wings to where it became a numbers game. I'm not so sure if there's something behind the scenes, Rick, in regards to Sochan. I just think it became a numbers game. And Sochan wanted to be traded. He wanted to go elsewhere. Let's see if his talents can be brought to New York and he can be beneficial to what the Knicks are trying to accomplish this season.
All right, so let's get back to our query here of Cal Bowdler, Sochan to the Knicks. You got a question for Cal?
Yes. So I know you're here, Cal, for to have a good time this weekend with the Legends. But is there going to be at some point this weekend where you have serious conversations as to how the Legends can be dealt better in the future? Of course, things have gotten much better, obviously, but are there going to be conversations at some point, maybe a small meeting with the minds to see how things could be even better for the Legends going forward?
So definitely, and as you guys know, I'm sure the national organization just brought in Antonio Davis about a year ago.
Nice.
For this sort of specific reason, to come revamp the entire organization. And one of his big pushes is to start at the chapter level. So that's where kind of I came in with some of our other leadership team in Atlanta to try to get the Atlanta chapter rocking and rolling. And that's his philosophy of, nationwide. And so one of the big things is to make the organization more like what the NFL has done and what MLB has done for their retired players. But you gotta make it valuable. You got to make it valuable when you're talking about sponsors and you're talking about impact on community. you want to engage people, but you got to create a valuable product in order to get people to come in and engage and participate and be able to then take that into the community and make a bigger impact, whether it's on young current players that you can mentor in some kind of way, or whether it's out in the community with the youth, or, feeding the homeless or something. In Atlanta, we had a great opportunity in January. We partnered with the King Center for Martin Luther King Week that leads up to Martin Luther King Day. They have events every single day.
Nice.
And we had a great opportunity for the local Atlanta chapter to be there and assist. And some of it was small, to say a couple of us just showed up and we're at the event.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing is growing. And so to your point, yes, that's absolutely a huge focus, both nationally and at the chapter level, to really build up the momentum and the strength. Because, I was having this exact conversation the other day. There's only 5,000 NBA players all time.
Sheesh.
Wow.
It's cool to think about it. It's not that's
globally.
Yeah.
All time. There's only 5,000 NBA players globally all time. One of the most elite fraternities in the world.
Yeah.
There is no reason why it shouldn't be equally as strong. And the only way is for everybody to come together, lift each other up, and then reach out.
Yep.
And that's what Antonio's mission is, and that's what we're starting to see, and we're starting to do that in Atlanta, and all the other chapters are doing the same thing.
That's leadership right there, people. That's leadership right
It's
there.
awesome. There's no question. It's
Cal
awesome.
Udeman.
Great
Cal
to meet you.
Bowdler, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, I'm hitting with a question.
Yeah, I'm curious. I mean, you mentioned all these other chapters. How many chapters are there? Where's the actual national main office, and how do they all really work together?
So the national office is in Chicago. So we're based in Chicago. Let's see. I think there's 12 chapters, maybe. There's Dallas. There's Houston. Chicago has a chapter. New York, I think. LA. Orlando, maybe. I think there's 12, but I'm missing some of them. But then they're also, right, and one of the other things is looking to see kind of where people are living, which is another reconnection type of thing, and see if there's other cities that might be willing to open up a chapter. Markets that are not being represented that should be. I was shocked when I started in Atlanta and we got the database. There was over 200 retired players that lived in the Atlanta area. Now that includes the NBA, WNBA, and Harlem Globetrotters.
Nice.
We're all under the same umbrella, which is fantastic because it's a huge reach.
Oh, wow.
A huge reach. It's incredible.
Yeah.
And so, we've got 200 retired players across all three leagues just in Greater Atlanta. There's no reason why we shouldn't be able to do something really special there and grow. And most of the markets are like that. And so finding new markets that aren't represented to build new chapters is definitely on the agenda as well.
Yeah.
What was your welcome to the NBA moment?
I got a picture I can show you. It'll take me a minute to find it, but it was playing against the Spurs. Now, keep in mind, this was 1999 was my rookie year. So you got, David Robinson and Tim Duncan on that team. And I've got an incredible picture for this, but at some point, in the play, I'm down underneath, I get the ball, I go up like I'm going to dunk it. Well, I got David Robinson and Tim Duncan standing right there.
Sheesh.
I got a photo of them both blocking the shot at the same time with their elbows. It is the most incredible shot ever if I was not on the other end. But talk about a welcome to the NBA moment for me. I was a good college player and thought I was a good athlete, but I tell you what, the level of separation when you get to the NBA is incredible. And I'll remind me to show you that picture after we wrap up, because it was in an episode of Slam Magazine too.
Really?
Back in the day. Remember how popular Slam
Of
Magazine was back in the day?
Yes.
Like 1999, 2000, something like that. That's where I got it from, was out of Slam Magazine. So somewhat embarrassing, but welcome to the NBA moment. But at this point in my life now, looking back and being involved again with the Retired Players Association and everything, it's a really cool, special moment too, to be able to look at, and definitely, welcome to the NBA moment, no question about it.
Antonio Daniels talks about when he got crossed up by Iverson, right?
Yeah.
And all the great stuff that AD did. He's a champion. I worked with him on NBA radio for a long time. That's what they go to every time. They don't want to talk about his charity work or it's just you got crossed up by Iverson, but he's got great perspective on it, and you do as well. He was in the arena on the court playing against Allen Iverson.
Yes.
So the people who are dissing him would absolutely want to be ankle broken by Allen Iverson.
Well,
and you, I mean, you're in. dude, you're playing against two of the greatest power forward of all time and a top 10 center. There's no shame in that, and I love your attitude about it.
Well, yeah, no question. And you know, like I go back to what I just said a minute ago. There's only 5,000 NBA players globally, all time.
Yeah, that's insane.
And what is this, the 75th year of the NBA or something coming up? Right? So in 75 years of NBA basketball, there's only 5,000 total NBA players globally. So to be able to say that I was part of that, even though I played 3 years, you know, a cup of coffee, whatever, I didn't have a great career. Antonio Daniels had a great career.
Long career, 13 years or something.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I'm very, very proud and very blessed that I had the opportunity to be there and share the court with with those type of legends. And so that's how I look at it. I mean, I'm blessed to be part of one of the most elite fraternities in the world.
Dwight, I know you got one. Just a quick follow-up. Did Shaq ever dunk on you?
You know, somebody asked me about Shaq. And here's the funny thing about Shaq is, now don't forget, I was at the end of the bench most of the time. So when we played the Lakers, it was highly unlikely that, I was getting in the game. But the one time I did play against the Lakers, he didn't play that game.
Oh, okay. And so you didn't get dunked on by Shaq.
So I did not. Okay. I did not. Which is great. I mean, which is good and bad, I guess. Good and bad. But the funny thing about Shaq is, I'm 6'10", 280 probably right now. Shaq's 7'1", probably 380. If he were to stand between me and you wouldn't even see me. And so when I say that to people, they're like, it doesn't even make any sense to him. He's so big. But what a, my years in the league though were those 2 of their three-peat years. So there was, I mean, you talk Kobe and Shaq or someone talk about all-time greats.
Wow.
I was there, on the
so
court.
Cool, man. So cool.
Incredible years.
I'd like to ask you a lot of Hawks questions.
Sure.
Overrated.
Ultimately, it ended up being a salary dump. Trae Young,
sure.
Corey Kispert, and CJ McCollum come over to the Hawks. Do you think it was the right decision? Was it the right decision to transition from Trae Young to Jalen Johnson, who's on the cusp of turning himself not into a star, but a superstar in the NBA, averaged a triple-double the entire month of December? Talk about his growth and why the Hawks, in your opinion, made the decision to transition from Young to Jalen Johnson.
Sure. So I think Trae Young has had an incredible career. He's a great player. I feel like they probably got as far as they were going to get. And maybe if you look at his numbers, they're starting to go down a little bit, even though he's still having great seasons, year over year. And so you had a decision to make. And some of it was a business decision. Some of it was like they sell out almost every game.
Mm-hmm.
So from a business perspective, they do really well. Now they're finishing 8, 9, 10 every year, since the year they went to the Eastern Conference Finals. But from a business perspective, they're still successful, even though. And so a lot of it probably was, hey, do we trade? Trade puts butts in seats kind of thing. But it got to the point where I think they just felt like they probably weren't going to get over the hump with him. And so, all of the sort of rumors you hear swirling around of, maybe off the court or how he gets along with players and all that kind of stuff. I don't really know any of that.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that there's commentary around it, is probably enough. And so you make a change. I mean, Jalen Johnson's coming on at the right time. He's playing great. He's playing awesome. My question about Jalen Johnson is he a number one? Can you build a franchise around him? I don't know if you can or not. He's an incredible player. He's having a great run. But is he a number one?
Yeah.
Because that's essentially what you're saying. You got rid of your number one.
How
is Jalen going to be number one?
He's on his way to that. Because it's a great question. And part of that for me is, how's the city of Atlanta? You know what I mean? Hawks fans. Like, they love Trae, Ice Trae, the whole thing. Did the city of Atlanta, did Hawks fans, did the streets turn on Trae? Or are the streets pissed that the Hawks traded Trae, like the streets are still pissed about them trading Dominique Wilkins?
So it's definitely not like Dominique Wilkins. Let's put it that way. I think there's a strong pro-Trae group that's upset that he's gone. I think there's a strong group on the opposite side. It's like, hey, enough is enough. Like, we haven't.
So on 92.9 The Game, they're debating this, right?
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
Gotcha.
And then everybody else kind of falls in between. Like, okay, well, let's see what's next. Let's see if they can build something next. Let's give Quinn Snyder, a chance at putting the team together. And they got a new GM. And let's see what they can build. And they like Jalen. He's young. He's playing great. They got good pieces. The Porzingis thing didn't work out, but you didn't really have more expectations than him playing 30 games anyway.
Nope.
He hasn't done it in a decade or however many years he's been in the league. So, I mean, they definitely have some work to do. they got some work to do.
Well,
it'll be interesting to see what they can build.
Jalen Johnson, to your point, like, can't he be? I mean, we all agree he's the Batman, right? We've
For
mentioned
sure.
that a number of times.
Yeah.
But if he had to go back to Robin, who's it going to be to? Well, you guys have both Milwaukee or New Orleans.
Yep.
Pick your poison, right?
Yeah.
If either of these teams end up in the top 4, top 5 position in the draft, you get to choose which one of
That's
those
right.
you want. And we all know how good this draft is coming.
Yeah.
Not to mention Reese Shea, who's sitting on the bench, and give him and his credit, his development.
Yeah,
A lot to like down in Atlanta.
and he's
for the
done
future.
well, and they're young. Yeah, I just don't know if Jalen is a build your franchise number 1 guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing great. He's definitely Batman right now. But if you're looking at building a franchise, is he the guy you would pick to build it around? I don't know.
It's a legit question. I mean, he was a game misser heading into this year too. The previous 2 years, like, missed a ton of games.
Yeah, that's right.
So, I mean, I hope that was just a little blip on the radar. And they weren't manufactured injuries; those were legit injuries.
for sure.
No. So to that point, are the Hawks going to be big game hunting this offseason to find that Batman to Jalen Johnson's Robin?
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, they got flexibility. They've made a lot of moves. They got a new GM who's definitely willing to make moves. I think we proved that at least. So there's some excitement around that. The GM's moving and shaking, and so it'll be interesting to see. I think they're probably gonna have to do some stuff because they got to build a better roster. Even if Jason is going to be, if he is going to be the piece that they build around, they still got to build the roster up.
Yeah. So you guys think Kuminga fits? You think he's going to start over Ricochet eventually?
I would be starting him because the Hawks. We talked about this. They're number 2 in pace. Kuminga's a run player. He's a fast break, wide open court, play fast type of player. I think it's a great fit, but we'll see. We'll see.
That's definitely a wait and see to me because he's had his issues in Golden State. So is it going to be a new sort of refreshing start for him and kick his career off?
Yeah.
Maybe so. Hopefully so. He's shown flashes of being great.
Which is crazy because he's an NBA champion, and I feel he contributed to that ring along with Jordan Poole.
Agreed.
So he has NBA championship experience, and he has a ring already. He should be proud of that.
Yeah, no question.
The jury is still out on Ricochet as well, I think.
Big time.
I think, I don't want to say it's buyer's remorse, but
They passed on Alex Sarr for
And
Zach
that's-
Ricochet. It's one of the worst draft decisions of all time.
right. But
I said that before the draft. I said, watch, they're going to take Ricochet. Did you guys know about Alex Sarr going into that draft?
I
Did you research him and
I did.
watch some tape on him? I was like, that was not a great draft, right? Reed Shepherd was the 3rd overall pick. Okay. I mean, God bless, but that was not a great draft. I'm like, Alex Sarr is by far the best player in it's not even close.
Yeah.
And of course the Hawks take Ricochet.
He was an Atlanta guy too. I think Sarr played at OTE.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure.
And the whole thing was, well, they've already got bigs. They don't need. You can't. You're the Hawks. You can't think that way. We have a tanking crisis in the NBA, Cal Bowdler. We talked about the Jaren Jackson Jr. thing. He's got the growth on his knee. They discovered it at the physical at the trade. Then they let him play 3 games. He's killing it. The team's killing it. Boom, he's going to have surgery to remove the growth. And so we debated earlier on the show, was that tanky behavior? Most of us thought it was. You don't have to focus on that, but we know that a lot of teams and tanking's a huge topic in the NBA right now. So what would you do to fix it? Do you think it's fine the way it is? Talk to us.
I think it's a difficult spot because there's so much value that you can get out of if you're not going to be good or you're going to be middle of the road. You get a lot of potential value, especially this coming year with a strong draft. That's how strong the draft class is. You really can get value out of doing it. I don't like it. It takes away the idea of competitiveness and wanting to win every game, even if you're the worst team in the league. You want to go spoil somebody's day. You just want to win that game.
Yeah.
If you go to LA Fitness, you don't go there just to to warm up. You want to try to win the game.
Exactly. I know Doc does, man.
Yeah.
All day. 24-hour fitness.
Yeah.
I like those LA Fitness courts.
Well, whatever. Wherever you're
The
going.
wall is out of bounds.
Look, you're going down the street to the outdoor courts. Wherever you're going, you're not going to lose the game. You're going you're going to try to win the game. So I guess the spin is, business has a lot to do with it. And again, value has a lot to do with it. How do you fix it? I don't know. Because you can't pinpoint it for sure. Nobody's going to come out and say it.
Yeah.
So strategically, you can do some things.
Oklahoma City Thunder definitely benefited from tanking. They got him a championship.
So did Philadelphia with Edgecombe. So did Dallas with Lively.
You know, it's so there are some benefits, but to Cal's point, the competitive spirit, it's taken away because you can't fool us. We follow the sport, we see what's happening. But it is what it is, especially because of this year's draft. We're going to be talking 3-5 years from now as to how this team tanked, got this player, and ultimately won a championship. Some team is going to benefit from what they're doing now. So this is it's a fluid situation. We'll see what happens. We don't like how they're approaching it, but it is what it is. And so 5 years down the road, we'll see if it worked.
And we got time for like maybe one or two more questions here with Cal, and we're going to wrap up the show. You got anybody else got another question for Cal?
I just had a question about in terms of the international component. I know you played overseas, and I know it's more of a national thing, but is there any, what are the summer plans? Is there any international component coming into this, like, seeing that the NBA does potentially will expand into Europe?
I mean, there's definitely conversation around that. I think even I heard something about the NFL thinking about it now. They're exploring that, So obviously, everybody I think understands the global market. Certainly, the NBA knows how big the fan base is globally, and I know I've played games and stuff. This NBA Europe League I think is interesting. I don't really logistically know how it's going to work unless it's going to operate independently and just be another version of the G League, maybe, or not necessarily the G League, but an independent league that operates under the NBA name. I'm not really sure because logistically back and forth, I don't know how you can do that for an entire season. Games here and there, okay, but I don't know. So we'll see what happens. It'll be super interesting. But one of the things to tie it back to the retired players, in Atlanta, we also had the opportunity. Harold Keeling is one of our retired players, and he's actually on our executive team as well. He just went to Africa and spent the month of January on behalf of our Atlanta chapter and was there building a basketball court for a village in Ghana. Got some incredible footage. We still haven't put it out yet because we're chopping it up and we don't have any professional editors and such. Like, you guys have a great operation.
We know a guy.
We know a guy.
So that's right. So we're trying to get it out. But in terms of global footprint, we feel like even on the retired player side, we think we can make an impact in that way too. And so super excited about that opportunity. And if the NBA expands and creates a league over there, then great.
How do you plan to leverage the Olympics being here in the United States in just a couple of years for the retired players? Like, what's the game plan that you guys are talking about now?
So that's a great question. We haven't had that conversation. So now I'm going to use your advice and bring that up. We're not going to do what the city of Atlanta has done and poorly planned for World Cup that's getting ready to happen in June. Infrastructure is not complete and all kinds of disasters.
Oh, wow.
We'll start talking about that and figure out what
we're
going to do. That's a great question.
Last one here. We debated this. Dwight thought Isaiah Stewart should have gotten the whole. Actually, he thought he should have been suspended for the rest of his career. I think that's what he said. No, he said season. He said, I'm just busting stuff. He said season. I said it was too much. Draymond got 5 for choking out Gobert, and Stewart gets 7. So I thought Stewart should have been at 5 too. What says you?
I think your challenge there is that he came off the bench. He wasn't involved in it. It wasn't, like, I get you want to protect your teammates and all of that kind of thing, but the NBA
more than Duncan Robinson, right?
Yeah, that's right. But the NBA has a hard stance of coming off the bench because the reality is it could really go sideways if that happens. And all the benches are coming in and everybody's throwing blows, and you remember Rudy talking about what happened there. Like, obviously that kind of thing hasn't happened since, but it can be a really dangerous situation if all of a sudden people come flying off the bench out of nowhere and they're not even involved in it. So I think the league is just looking out for the players and trying to protect their product. I mean, it's an awesome product.
So you're cool with 7 games. You thought they got that right?
I'm surprised it was 7. I thought it was probably going to be more. I can't say.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I can't say I thought it was going to be the rest of the season, but I did think it was going to be significant because he does have a history, and he did blatantly come off the bench swinging. And I think there's a and the NBA has a hard line. They do not come off the bench, and so I'm surprised it's not more. I can't say whole season. But
Cal, it's a slap on the wrist. I can't believe
I don't disagree.
They didn't come down harder.
Yeah.
Again, if it was the first time,
Rick wants boxing gloves out there. Like, just everybody go at it like a hockey game.
So again, anybody who knows Dwight Walton, I am not a soft individual by any means. I know my opinion comes across as soft, but I made the same point. He left the bench with intent.
Yeah.
He wanted to inflict pain, and because of his past history,
Yeah.
giving him 7 games to me is now giving license to the rest of the NBA. You know what? If I'm only going to get 7 games, I'm coming off the bench. I know it costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
I know that, and there are levels to the contracts, so it could be even steeper to some individual players. I get that, but if you're telling me I'm only going to miss 7 games if I come off the bench, I'm coming off the bench. Coming off the bench.
Well, here's the way I think of it. Think about.
You know he lost $1 million for this, right? Isaiah Stewart.
Okay.
He lost $1 million for this suspension.
There's
Something like that.
Okay.
There's ways to stick up for your teammates. There's ways to do this in game. Think about the Pistons back in the day. Think about how physical the game was. You take care of this in game. Throw them to the ground a couple times. Get some hard fouls, get some techs.
That's what I'm talking about.
You can take care of this in a different way.
Good call.
Without coming off the bench, getting ejected, losing money. Adding to now, your rap sheet essentially.
Right.
Because he already had infractions coming in, and this might be the biggest one. But now he's got a black eye. I mean, he's not going to be able to ever move past the fact that this has been who he is to this point. And so, I think I don't know if there's some teaching there or whatever, but handle this stuff in game.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because the game is not as physical as it used to be, and so that's not in the thought process. But it can certainly be handled in game. I do not think you need to be coming off the bench, and I do think it should have been more game.
So Cal's got to rip out of here. He's got to go to Beverly Hills. He'll be dining with Martin Scorsese and Quentin Tarantino a little bit later on here today.
Crossed.
So
fingers crossed.
There you go, man. Cal, can't thank you enough for joining us.
Thanks so much
You're
for
a
having
dear
us.
friend of mine.
Yep.
You're a dear friend of us here
Thank you.
Beyond the
Thanks so much
Surface
for
on the X-Rated Sports Network. Love you, Cal, and hopefully we can catch up and hang out a little bit over the weekend.
Hey, look, nobody else is getting me to pull a jacket out of my suitcase.
There you go.
Yes.
I'll tell you that.
I got you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cal, appreciate you, man.
You got it.
Appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
It is our pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, we are out. What a show. This was an extravaganza, right? Mike Yam, Cal Bowler, Dwight Walton, AM Feb for Dr. X. I'm Rick Kamla. Shout out to Sean. Shout out to Kai. Shout out to Jason, our tremendous crew. These guys are brilliant. They work their butts off. The turnaround that happened from the set to this, blew. I'm not going to throw networks under the bus, but you guys deserve a round of applause. It was high level, elite pro broadcasting and TV delivery to you, our great audience out there. We love you. Enjoy All-Star Weekend. And we will see you Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific with the next episode of Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network.